Let's try that again.
Okay.
Bay Harbor bitching. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Hard Deconstruction, doing a special episode about Dexter. It's called Bay Harbor bitching. It's with your host Alex and
Uncle Penny.
And today's show is
Bay Harbor bitching. Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, I guess.
Well, let's take a vote. Bay Harbor bitching or Bay Harbor boobies.
We did see boobies. So this is we're gonna be reviewing episode 8. What? Season 8, episode 1, which is what's it called? Brand New Day.
Beautiful Day.
A Beautiful Day. Excuse me. And it's
about the whole episode is just replaying the lyrics from the U2 song.
Yes. So then we just see Bono congratulate himself about all the money he's gotten for Africa for long speeches. Anyway.
And then he takes a big dump.
But we're also basically glossing over the first 7 seasons of Dexter. Why we haven't done like episodes on Dexter, I don't know why, but if it seems maybe because I was affected by.
It's almost like so obvious that we just didn't think of it.
Yeah,
I think it's like one of those things.
I think I was probably like by seasons 5 and 6, I was like, oh no. But anyway,
well, there was a point where I was totally behind. I didn't watch season 6 somehow. I completely avoided anybody ruining it for me. It was like halfway through season 7, then I just like marathoned and caught up.
Maybe that's probably why we didn't do the show, because I was already caught up by the time you were still doing it.
And I was like living in Italy at that point.
Oh, what a blowhard! So Dexter, let's get into a little bit of history of the Dexter series. The Dexter series, it's going to spoil. Well, anyway, anybody who's seen
ton of spoilers. So
anybody who's seen season 8 by now knows what everything that's going on. I'm also going to talk about the books. So let's get into.
Try not to spoil too much because I haven't read them yet.
Believe me, there's nothing you can spoil with those books. It's okay writing, but it's nothing that great. But I mean, I can go into little things like what happens to certain characters on shows. But by now, every character that's like dead in the books is already dead in the series, so it's not really going to spoil anything. So let's get into Dexter. When did you first know of Dexter?
I think I got into it kind of like coming towards the end of season 4, but I like started obviously at season 1 and really just like instantly hooked. And then like the moment I watched like a few episodes, I got my mom hooked into it, and she's like obsessed with it more probably than me or you combined.
Really?
Yeah.
What does she like about it so much?
She just like I think she has a crush on Dexter.
On Michael C. Hall, the actor.
Yeah, maybe.
Jesus. Was she crying when he had like cancer and he was like about to like go and stuff? Was she like sad that he divorced like Jennifer Carpenter and all that shit?
I don't know. I don't know if she even follows his outside of Dexter life.
She just want to believe he's a normal man. She wants to believe he's an actual serial killer.
You're right. She's like Lila.
I think sometimes she'll just adopt an English accent. But for most of people, like me, I was on a train. I was at a train and I saw the ad for Dexter, which was that kind of. It's like.
Yeah, I used to see them a lot actually.
Yeah, they were really pushing the series when it first started.
I never cared. I remember I saw like I guess it was like an awards thing, and you know like nobody knows he's a serial killer. So like when they called him up and gave him the award, like what's her face, Jennifer Carpenter or whatever, was like he's a serial killer, like joking, and I was thinking, oh, it's like a comedy about a serial killer or something. I didn't like get.
It's funny because when I first heard about the series, like, oh, it's a serial killer killing killers. I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. You know, I like watching well done serial killer movies. God knows there hasn't been that many that are worth watching that have a serial killer lead. Like the only other one I can really think of is like American Psycho. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
They're out there, but they're few and far between. There's way more bad ones than good ones.
Yeah,
that's
for
sure.
I mean, it's making a character interesting while they're trying to kill people without it just kind of spiraling into something stupid. Like George Romero made a movie called Bruiser, which had an interesting premise about this guy who is kind of a nerd.
He's a hemophiliac. He bruises really easily.
his wife is like bang.
Anytime anyone touches him, he just gets like bruises on him.
That's
like the whole movie.
He's such a loser. Like he's at his I don't know what kind of job he was doing, but anyway, his boss was getting like a hand job from his wife, and he's just stood there crying and stuff. And then he wakes up. He puts on this kind of white featureless mask on. And then he wakes up with the mask attached to his face that it almost becomes a skin, so he can't take it off. And he just starts killing everybody. But it was such a stupid movie. It was like, even the wife, like, everybody has a revenge fantasy on somebody that cheated on them. He throws his wife out of a window, even though all she did was like jerk off a guy. Right. I mean, that's a little bit too much for killing someone.
It wasn't a happy ending for her.
I guess not. And that is the worst final shot in history of one of those movies. But anyway, like, just getting back to Dexter, you see those posters, that pretty famous original picture of him with a corpse's hand on his face, kind of like the aw shucks or I'm bored kind of stance.
Right.
And once you find out he's part of the Miami Metro Division, he's a blood sample expert, blood splatter expert. Excuse me. And he works for the Miami-Dade section of the police. Right? Is that what it is? Detective squad or whatever. And there's
homicide department.
Yeah, the original crew. I guess the original crew still lasted at least for 8 seasons. It was Angel Batista.
Dokes isn't there.
Yeah, it was Angel Batista, Dokes. Angel Batista is kind of like the chubby Hispanic guy. I guess he's Cuban.
And he's such a bad guy in Oz, and it was so hard for me to adjust to him as a nice Spanish dude,
Just any nice Spanish dude kind of bothers you.
Yeah, no, I picture them mowing my lawn or something.
So there's him, and there's also... What was Dokes'
There was
first name?
Laguerta, there's, what's his face,
Wait, but James Dokes...
Mazuka.
James Dokes for the first 2 seasons was Dexter's nemesis, kind of like he just felt that Dexter was something wrong with him, so he kept bugging the shit out of him. But he was awesome, though. And there was also
and Quinn then came along. Like season 3 or something.
Yeah, Quinn was like trying to be the white Dokes, but then they kind of got tired of it real quick, and they kind of just threw his storyline in the garbage. There's a lot of weird storylines.
They really left a lot of unanswered questions about that. Actually, I mean, like he essentially knows that Dexter is bad
because he killed RoboCop. But let's go season 1. What were your? We both wrote about it on Tumblr, and I put your answers up on Tumblr as well. People liked it, and they didn't like mine. But they what are things about season 1 that you kind of liked and disliked?
Well, it's like, I guess I feel like shows since Dexter started have been getting progressively higher quality.
Yeah.
But budget-wise, acting-wise, like it's almost like every show now is like a movie.
Right.
And I feel like Dexter is one of the first ones of this new generation of amazing new shows.
I felt like that season 1 of Dexter, it's not obviously the originator of the best dramas that are out there, because there's obviously the Sopranos and stuff like that, but this was one of the really good genre ones, like the really good.
Yeah.
It had a weird niche that it kind of.
You don't have to be a horror person to love Dexter.
Yeah, because I mean,
even like horror. A lot of it's like crime stuff. Like there's a lot of like cop shit if you're into that, and like drama and all this kind of stuff.
It easily follows like the procedural kind of thing. The CSI Miami or all that stuff. It's basically like that, but they stretch it over a season, and they have a main bad guy that they deal with, as opposed to like if you watch CSI.
Each episode is like a contained, that's its own thing.
Yeah, they're able to capture everybody within one episode. The worst serial killers, even though God knows how many in real life, how many murders have gone unsolved.
Right.
Just look at Dexter. Nobody solved him. Well, I guess some people did, but they never make it out to the end. But season 1 introduced us to Dexter's sister Deb, who was working Vice. Right, she was.
I don't even think she was like a full detective. She wasn't a detective either.
She was working Vice, and then when she got a big break, finding out, I think it had to deal with the ice truck killer, that she got promoted to like. We actually see throughout the seasons, we see Deborah rise in the ranks, which is pretty interesting. I always liked.
Now we've seen her sink considerably.
Yes. I like Deborah a lot. I think in some aspects I like her a little bit more than Dexter because she's able to admit more. Do you know what I mean?
have to say, like, spoiler, like, well, whatever. If you're listening to this,
everybody knows what this is. Yeah.
But the scene, and my friend, like, pointed out, like, the scene, and made me watch it again and again. Like, yeah, no, it's sick. Where Laguerta sits Deb down and shows her a video of her in a gas station getting the tanks of gas.
Right, yeah, that was in season 7, right.
And her reaction to it, though, like, the way Deb is acting, like, you know, like, you could feel how fucking nervous she is and stuff.
Yeah, she's
it's
good.
so, like, I'm watching, like, getting nauseous, like, picturing myself in such a situation.
The best
like,
way
that show brings that out. Like, it really does.
The best way I can say that, like, saying what kind of, like, when she gets in that mode, it's almost like a caged animal. Like, not a caged animal, but an animal that's scared. Right. You can almost see it. It looks like an animal with a panic attack. Like, she's really good at that. Like, My favorite acting from her, honestly, recently was when she is kind of trying to squash down the feelings for Dexter because she's in love with her adopted brother. Yeah. And there's parts when she had to talk to her psychiatrist, and she's like, "What?" Like she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like she's just like, "What do you?" She has that really, really confounded look and stuff like that. And then the part when she actually tells him that she's in love with him, she's really good. Great. Jennifer Carpenter really is good. It's funny in the book, Deborah. It's been a while since I read the first one, but Deborah somehow knows he's a murderer, but she's fine with it.
Right. So
like
she's
a total,
totally different character.
It's a total opposite in this one. But
is she like the same character? Like,
sort of is. Like, well, physically no, because she actually has like huge breasts and she has like a voluptuous body in the original books. And they
like mentally, is she like more or less the same?
Fairly.
'Cause she wouldn't be okay with it in this. She's not okay with it in this.
I guess she really wouldn't be the same kind of character because just the way she's gotten in this version of the show is different than how she is in the series. Like in the show, I mean in the book, she asks Dexter to use his kind of dark passenger to help her find out crimes and stuff. Because in the novels, he's busy helping find these killers and trying to do it on the down low without telling her that he's going to kill so and so. But she's well aware, and I think this is because she finds out Brian is the ice truck killer in the books, and the ice truck killer is really fairly obviously who it is. Mm-hmm. In the first ones, because you can tell this other character who happens to be the nice boyfriend. Once another character is given more screen time than anybody else is, and they couldn't do a payoff like if it was Masuka out anywhere.
Especially in something like this, if they're nice and they're too nice, you gotta wonder why. Maybe.
Yeah, they're not like, and if they're too dark.
But I honestly, when I watched it the first time, I didn't expect it. I was
you didn't expect Brian to be, and that's so funny because people were like, "Oh man, Brian was the best," and I'm like, "Really? I didn't really get a vibe from."
There was a great scene though when they were cleaning the house and dancing and stuff.
Yeah, I do remember that was pretty cool. But season 1 was like a very, very much so a high point in the series. Like just how tight it was, because it kind of loses its way with. I don't know what the fuck happened in later seasons, but there's some episodes where you're like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I mean, but it's not enough where you stop watching the show.
Right.
I mean,
I there was really only one season that bored me to death.
And that was season 6 for you, right?
Yeah, but then thinking back, I don't know.
Travis
I'm gonna have to watch it again because Travis is a good actor.
Travis and Dr. Adama.
Edward, Adama's in it. Like that's cool. And it was so funny because I was watching that season at the same time that I was like obsessing over Battlestar.
Oh yeah.
And to go back and forth from them to see the transition, like it was the weirdest.
And the quality of show that they were in.
Yeah,
right?
like just the character, like to see Adama, he's always like in this friggin' outfit with all his like medals on his neck, to wearing like a Hawaiian T-shirt and just standing there watching some guy kill someone. Like,
yeah.
Like, what?
See, season 2 had to deal with Dexter. He had to cover up all his tracks. It was funny because he was dating what's her face. Wow, I can't believe I forgot her name.
Rita,
excuse me. And she had her 2 bratty kids. And you can tell the writers in the back of their head, they were like, oh shit, we gotta get rid of these characters, but we don't know how. What kind of writing what the Dexter writers do is that they write themselves into a fucking wall, like
But they always write themselves out again, so that's okay.
Yeah, but even they wait for the end of the season, so even like shit that they didn't tie up, they'll just be like, okay, it's gone now. They'll just explain it off in one line because there was. Batista was seeing this undercover cop for like prostitution ring because he was sleeping with hookers. They had a whole thing going on. I think it was towards season. When did him and LaGuardia get married?
I don't even remember. It's all like a blur.
I think it was season 4. But so she must have been like by season 3, Angels with this chick, and they were setting it all up for him to be with this girl. And then the next season, she just wasn't even there. It was him and LaGuardia. Like they automatically got married by the time that the seasons happened. So I was like, what the fuck?
Well, the biggest unanswered question for me is, okay, so Quinn has him being followed by RoboCop. And
that's just poor writing, what you're going to talk about right now.
Yeah, basically. He has him being followed. He, like, essentially knows that he's a killer. Like, he knows it.
Yeah, Quinn is a dirty cop.
And then Quinn gets in a situation, and Dexter kind of, like, saves his ass.
And that's why Quinn is like, okay, we're the same.
Right,
we're fine.
But
like,
still, though, like he knows that he's he knows he's bad.
And the reason why he doesn't ape on Dexter is because he's in love with Deborah. That's the only reason he's doing that. He gives him a pass because
that's true.
Because he had blood samples on him, which put him in the scene of the crime. And he was like, "What the fuck?" So just because he loved Deborah so much, you know what I mean? That's why he didn't do it. I'm like, this motherfucker's nuts. He's letting a guy who's potentially a serial killer. This is why Quinn
because he doesn't know for a fact. Maybe he's just like, okay, I don't want to know, or something.
Yeah, Quinn. I'd have a real problem though if I was a cop, but then he's a dirty cop. But he's not a dirty cop where he's like a piece of garbage. But sometimes he'll take money and do questionable acts and stuff like that. And the big problem with Quinn, like when you first see Quinn coming in, you realize he's supposed to be the white version of Dokes, but he's nowhere near that. Like he's kind of like got this attitude. But it's more of like
Dokes that sleeps with like inflatable dolls and dresses them up.
But yeah, that's Quinn's problem. Like Quinn was originally supposed to be set up to be the next Dokes, but I think people just were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" He didn't have the air about him, and just because when you see Dokes in the show, Dokes is like this huge, scary, bald guy. Yeah, he's like a scary guy. He's like a T-800, the Black Terminator. Have you ever seen that movie? I think it was called TC-800, whatever. But yeah, he's like Billy Blanks with a weird nose job, and he's just like. Billy Blanks was this. Used to be this black action hero, but he only did like straight to video movies because people in the 80s are racist. No, he was like, I'm not making a joke. He made a Black Terminator movie called TC-800 or something.
Jesus Christ,
it's really embarrassing for people. But anyway, yeah. So Quinn is like that. Angel is there, I guess. I like Angel. I
like him a lot.
I wish he would do a lot more. He does a lot in the show, but he's kind of like the bumbling.
In the books, is he important?
Yeah. I think he fits his role in the books, but he's not really like. For some reason, they call him Angel No Relations Batista, and I keep forgetting why the fuck they even say that in the book. But unless somebody else is called Batista, I have no clue. But he has a sister that magically appears within season 6 or 5 or something like that.
She's the nanny.
She's like this cute Spanish chick that...
She's cute, but I gotta say, when I saw her having sex with Quinn, she's too skinny. I can see ribs in her back.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd be alright. She's
she's definitely pretty and
she's
stuff,
got a nice
but I don't know. She's got she should put on like.
But that's
10
another.
pounds.
That's another thing where the writers are just automatically insert. I mean, I guess in real life, there's people that you don't really talk about, and they can show up one day and be there. But it's just like they never mention these characters; they've never been there. But then you realize, who gives a flying fuck?
Yeah, if they showed us like 6 months worth of Quinn and her romancing, it'd be like, okay, it's boring.
There was so James Dokes. You want to get into who he was and how important he was to the show?
He is your quintessential angry black man.
He probably was.
No, he was just like a really angry like Marine who probably like killed people in war.
Even more than Marine. I think he was like Black Ops. I don't mean that in a racist way. I think he was just
he's like an intense soldier, like really post traumatic, and
he had to do a lot of shit. Like
he was a really angry cop, and he dated LaGuardia. I think they had like a romance.
There was some parts like that in the show where he was investigating some guy in a boat and he had to kill him, and he was like, he didn't want to do it, because it'd probably bring up some bad shit about him. But in the novels, it's completely different. Dokes is still alive in the novels, and he's just as much of an asshole in the novels, which is pretty cool. But I still want to ruin what's going on.
No. But just tell me this, Lila.
You would find it funny because I'll just say that he's still around. He's still a cop, but he's basically half man, half machine.
Okay.
You just got to take it from there because it was like. It's just weird how the book is. The book is completely kind of off the rails, crazy because
what is it, like supernatural, like sci-fi?
Yeah, it does go into that. They made it. Yes, it does. Because Jeff, what the hell is his name? Oh God, the guy who created Dexter. His name is let me see, Jeff. What the hell is his name? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Created by Jeff Lindsay. Jeff Lindsay. Excuse me, Jeff Lindsay created the character, and he obviously got the money. He kind of bitches that they steered a lot away from the novels, but you know what? I don't know
Who cares? I mean, they're good. It's a good show. I don't give a shit.
The first 2 novels are pretty straight up, the same as the series is. Like,
if Dokes is still alive, couldn't be exactly the same.
Yeah,
unless
I mean,
he blows
but
up
with-
and gets half a cyborg body or something.
With a TV show, I think they went two different ways because Dokes was dealt with in the books as he was like in the show, but not as directly. Because
Okay.
like Dokes still doesn't have any proof that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher, but he still gets kind of a comeuppance in a way that kind of limits him trying to fight Dexter. But in the series, they wrote themselves in a corner because it was so good. They figured, oh, we're doing such a good series that the people will like it so much that we killed this kind of integral character to the series that we can just keep continuing.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, that
was
it
was
in
great,
my
but it was a
opinion,
misstep.
like the best season finale.
It was good. It
of
was
the
good.
show.
The only thing that mars the second season for me is Lila. I just don't like. For me, I don't care about. I know
She's awesome.
She is, but I mean, I'm not into when they bring the female equivalent because he has so much. But I understand why they would do it because it's
Yeah, but
it's-
each season has a different equivalent. That's what's so cool. Like Lila's like this like weird, out of control, crazy person,
And Lila's
and Jimmy Smits is like sort of normal, but you see him go crazy. Like it's great.
Lila's like the first incarnation out of the three types of women that Dexter's been with that kind of into the killing with him. It was like Lila. It was
Lumen and
Lumen,
Cassie.
and then
Or is that her name, Cassie?
who the new one, Hannah?
Oh, Hannah.
Yeah, Cassie.
Who the hell is Cassie?
So Dokes gets dealt with differently in the book, but he's still around and he's still kind of being a bug up Dexter's ass. So it's interesting. I listen to the audiobooks, so there's like 4 of them I believe right now. There's Darkly Dreaming Dexter. They're all with D's. The Jeff Lindsay's trying to be funny, like just calling with D's. He's gonna run out of fucking words. But the first 2 books were normal. The third book,
Doggy Dexter. He just starts going crazy.
by the third book, he's is a supernatural thing. The Dark Passenger literally is an ancient.
Oh, I don't know
thing.
if I like that.
But you know what? He kind of the Jeff Lindsay, I guess, drops that whole angle within the other 2 books, or the other book that follows it.
Okay.
So I mean, I think he probably was like writing.
That's like some Nightmare on Elm Street shit right there. Like, you can see like the 3 worms come out.
They
of him.
wish, yeah. He puts on 3D glasses and his head explodes at the end with dynamite. No, but he must have gotten some feedback or something. I think he was like, "What the fuck are they doing with my character? I'm gonna take my character and make my own, imprint with who this character is." This just I thought in season 7, that guy who dresses up like a bull. He kind of not a bull. He dresses up as the what is that thing called? It's that old
Minotaur.
He dresses up a Minotaur. It's like I think it was a slight reference to that stuff that happens in the 3rd book because there's a whole cult that they deal with.
Oh, there's cults and shit. That's cool. Actually,
Yeah,
I should really read it. I guess
you should give it a look. I mean, it's not that great of writing, but it's still interesting. Like I'll listen to the audiobook, but I can imagine reading the book and probably want to use it as toilet paper. But the 4th book,
Send me the audiobook.
Okay, sure. The 4th book, legally, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, legally, I'll pay for it.
For the 4th book, he deals with a copycat killer. So I mean, they're all basically this. I'm sure he wrote that a while back, and then to see it on the show, he'll be like, "Oh fuck." But they obviously went 2 different ways, and you can tell by Jeff Lindsay that he's kind of like, oh fuck, why don't they use my ideas? Like he probably has this real like writer's problem with it. Obviously, 'cause
right.
he kind of mentions it in interviews, but whatever we're gonna do, dude. It's like
just shut up.
He's complaining.
Take your $8 million per season.
He's sitting on. He has enough money to fucking print his own face on his own money. But anyway, with season 2 with Dokes gets obviously blown to pieces, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, maybe there's hope to find him, and then you see like a faceless skeleton. Right. Like, oh, that's not Dokes. I was very.
He'd still be alive.
Yeah, that's probably how Dokes looks in the book. Like if
actually, like for this season, we should probably get into this season pretty soon. But I was thinking LaGuardia, she could be alive, maybe because we don't see her die, and Dexter's really thorough, but maybe he messed up or something. I don't know. And like she comes
6 months after.
Well, maybe like they just left the scene or something, and then like
LaGuardia dies in the 1st book. That's the difference.
Yeah, but,
so she was
then,
living on borrowed
thinking
time.
Logically, like he definitely made sure that she.
Oh
was
yeah,
dead,
I
and
mean,
it was set up perfectly.
I mean, he's pretty good at covering his tracks in the series. Like, I guess even though it was Deb's bullet that killed him, I mean, they had to find a way to change it to be that other guy.
But did he like stab through the hole of the bullet hole or something?
I don't remember. I don't know. But season 3, what was 3? 3 was
it's Jimmy Smits.
I liked it. A lot of people hated it. They thought that was the worst
liked
season. I liked it. I liked Jimmy Smith's character. He was like this guy who had power as a DA. He wanted to find his brother's killer, who was actually Dexter.
My friend describes it as just a really boring version of like some guy hanging out with a Spanish guy.
What?
He's like, yeah, it's just like you're watching like Dexter hang out with like some Spanish dude in his house. Like, I get what he's saying, but like it's good. I like.
They should have merged season 3 with the Miguel Prado. Like you see him fly to planet Alderaan. So then he fucking he just adopts Leia and whatever her name is. You know, it's funny.
Right.
He gets blown up right by the Death Star. I just thought about that. But anyway, so season 3 had Miguel Prado, and then they had the guy called the Skinner, who was based on another character from the books as well, but not by name for some reason. I think
What was the name of that boyfriend that was skinned?
The young African American gentleman who played the saxophone.
I don't remember being.
Yeah, he's a black guy. He played the saxophone.
He was really cool though.
I liked him, and even when she cheated on him with that old fart, he still took her back, and she was like, "No." He just left. He was like, "All right, see you later." I felt bad for that guy. That guy was like
what happened, Lundy. Yeah.
He's a nice guy, and girlfriend.
But wasn't Lundy there in in the second season, or am I wrong?
Yeah, Lundy was there, and then he kind of he had an affair with her. Deb has an affair with an older cop in the books as well. But I don't think that was because of Lundy. I'm not sure, whatever. But yeah, Lundy was an interesting character. I like what he brought. Obviously, he was there to get Dexter. But anybody who like goes after Dexter, you just know they have like a timer on them. Yeah, there's no chance. And so Lundy was interesting until he gets killed by
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow's daughter.
John Lithgow's daughter
shoots him, even though that was like a really shitty reveal. But I think it got spoiled for me before I even got to see it, so I was like, I can't help but be like, that's kind of stupid.
That whole season makes me like so nervous and uptight.
Season 4, with John Lithgow, you see his nude butt cheeks as he's jumping into a bathtub to slice this woman's femoral artery in her leg.
So crazy.
He was really good, and then it's funny because then you can go on YouTube, and he loves making albums for children, like musical albums. He loves like entertaining kids. So you can just imagine he's just playing "Shut Up, Cunts," like he's just saying that.
So as he's like doing the child scene with the train tracks and all these things, like one of the last episodes, he's like in his head like a sicko.
But that season 4 was a real reversal. I mean, it got everything right with season 3 had gotten wrong, even though it had an interesting bad guy, and it was basically recycling the same thing because by season 4 you were like, is Dexter just gonna be friends with a serial killer like every season from now on? And can they do something different? But I don't know.
It was different. It's like different versions and takes on the same idea.
Yeah, and they fixed what they got wrong with season 3. I mean, it was a big fucking jump for them.
Well, season 3 is just so slow paced and like not much happens, but it's still good.
But the writers had a lot of balls to basically recycle the same storyline, but do it differently with a different actor. Yeah. And it works. And it had a really crazy ending with Rita dying. Like I was saying before, you liked Rita though, right? Or no?
Yeah, I was very upset when she died.
I liked Rita a lot, but then I knew as soon as I was like watching, I was like, why is this episode going on a little bit longer than it should? Then I was like, oh, this chick is dead, bro. And I was like, oh, and a lot of people were like, fuck Rita, like way back when. And then when she died, you're like, wow, she's kind of like the only nice character in the show. She was like the only one that wasn't a piece of garbage. Even the kids were.
Deb too.
Yeah, but she's kind of a psychopath, like cursing every 3 seconds. She is a good person, but she's more volatile than she is nice.
Yeah, Rita was definitely like totally pretty innocent, I'd say.
Yeah, so that she was a sacrificial lamb on the show. And then by season 5, we had to deal with Lumen.
Why did you hate it so much? It wasn't.
To me, it just was like, it was just boring. Like it was just there was nothing going.
It was fun.
What are you remixing? What the fuck was that?
I was trying to wipe dust off my computer. Sorry.
Sure. And he hooks us up with a Lumen, this girl who's been raped and tortured by this a fraternity of weirdos. Jordan Chase, who's Sherlock Holmes from that show Elementary. Is that he used to be married to Angelina Jolie in real life? I forget his name, but
okay.
Johnny.
I thought that was all like fucking great. I really liked it. I don't know.
I just didn't get into it. I was just like, all right.
That was like the first like healthy.
You know, to think about it, it might actually be better than season 6,
great.
honestly. I know I hated this.
No, it is.
I might have been shitting on it because of Lumen's kind of that boring character, but then thinking about it, it might be better than season 6, because season 6 is pretty fucking bad. So I might
That's the first time that there's ever been somebody that knows who he is, but isn't like a psychopath, you know?
Yeah, she just wants revenge, and then she goes, "Alright, see you later, dude," and she just kind of leaves
so
off and has her own life, and Dexter's like crying and breaking shit in his house. So then season 6, oofa.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it, but I don't know.
Why would you do? Just watch Under the Dome or something instead.
I am watching that, but
finish Hannibal for Christ's sakes. But in season 6, they're dealing with these religious killers, and I put killers very loosely, which is Tom Hanks' son, not the rapping one, Chet Hanks, but the other one. You know, Tom Hanks has a son that's rapping about being poor.
Being poor?
Yeah, just Google Chet Hayes.
Is it a joke?
No. He's trying to be a rapper, and he raps about, he's cursing and stuff.
But he's not poor.
Yeah, I know that, and you know that. Maybe he doesn't know that. But
he was born to, like, a millionaire dad.
Later on, after this episode's done, YouTube Howard Stern Chet Hayes. Because he just...
Oh, Howard Stern's bashing him?
It's fucking hilarious. Because then he's just going on the whole wigger thing, and he's like this rich kid. And Tom Hanks, Colin Hanks is playing, what's his name? Travis. I'm surprised I remembered his name. And who was Adama in this season?
He was Professor Geller.
And I remember watching, I think it was maybe 2 episodes in, and Adama and Travis are sitting down at a diner, like an outside diner. And you see a waitress serve Colin Hanks' character, and she doesn't even pay attention to Admiral Adama, and I was like, this motherfucker's not real. As soon as, because what happens is whenever I see, like, there was just something to me that just, you know, I get very analytical with these stupid shows, and I'm like, like, what's this? Ever since, you know, Fight Club, obviously, when I first saw Fight Club, I gotta be honest, when I first saw it, and the twist happened, I was like, you've got to be, this is the worst twist I've ever seen in any movie.
I love that movie.
Once I started watching
of that movie.
Once I saw Fight Club again, I realized how fucking stupid I was and how I loved that movie. Listen, I had the same problem with Matrix 1. I thought this movie was boring, and then when I saw it again, I was like, this movie's fucking great, so I'm an idiot. But anyway, but now, you know, when you see little things like that, you're like, please don't tell me they're going to try this on this show. And then, of course, they did. They made it that Adama was dead for like the longest time, and Travis was just having this mental illness.
It looked nice as a popsicle, though.
And what this season tried to be was kind of Saw meets Dexter.
This is all religion. Mos Def was in it. He was reprising his role as in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I like Mos Def in it. He was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and he was there to kind of lead Dexter to like illumination, like brightness, right?
Yeah,
to find some sort of faith. And then by the time he dies, and all the shit that happens, Dexter realizes he doesn't need God or anything because it's kind of like life is fallible, and you know all that shit is phony to him. So it's kind of bringing to the roots that I think the show originally was supposed to be this monster turning into a human being, but I think they just kind of lost the way and is just keeping him as a monster. You know what I mean? And so all that shit happens. Travis.
And I like that guy that killed Mos Def. He was creepy and cool.
Or with his dog. Once the guy says, "Oh, my dog only barks for people he doesn't know," I was like, "Oh, this guy's the fucking guy." I was like, it's him. And then he does a whole thing where he's at a beach where he could get scot-free. He could be clean and free and be forgiven by Dexter. He goes, "I killed him, and I'm gonna get away with it." Laughing.
Well, he didn't know Dexter was a sicko.
Yeah, but why? You know what I mean? Why did he kill? He killed him for his gang or whatever, and he just started acting like an asshole for no reason. Like what? Whatever.
Well, it was the test. It was the test. Can Dexter keep his promise not to hurt the killer?
So there's Travis, and it had some fucking leaps of illogic shit going on in this show, this season. That
you gotta admit though, the paintings were sick. They were good.
It was good, but it was obvious that it was a painting, and they just threw Michael C. Hall's face on it. It'd be funny if they threw Michael J. Fox's face on it. But,
that would be cool, and it's like still shaking, like it's like a Harry Potter picture that like moves.
Causes an earthquake and the ceiling falls down.
It's all like shaky and jittery.
But what did they do? With Travis, this is the one thing that I saw, and I was like, oh my god, you can't be this bad of a show. Is that Dexter sends Travis a video mail of himself at the boat, saying, you know, I'm gonna blah blah blah. He's sending it to a killer to taunt him. If they arrest this guy and they know who Travis is, they're gonna track his phone. You know, they're gonna buy the pings of his phone. Unless he had a different phone, I had no idea. Unless it was a burner phone. Right. But obviously, he's gonna die, and he has that phone, or they'll find some way to find that phone. They can see that. You know what I mean? It was like such a leap of stupid logic that I couldn't believe it. And,
yeah.
And then there was Angel's sister was dating this techno geek, and he was.
What was her name even? I can't think of it.
Angel's
and the techno geek, I really like this character.
Well, he reminded me of you, just like look-ways. But
oh, come on.
Why'd you like him for? Because he's a douchebag?
He was such a douche. Yeah.
He reminds me of that guy from. He reminded me of that guy from Mad TV, the one who played Stewart. You know,
I've never really seen Mad TV.
Don't waste your time.
Okay.
But he's this nerd that we think is going to be set up to be this huge villain for the next season, the final season, or whatever season, and he just kind of gets dispensed for the 7th season, just gets killed, and it's like, okay, that's them writing him out of the show as well, because he had this whole thing. Remember the girl that was cock teasing Masuka, the little blonde chick that was there for a couple episodes?
Yeah, the one that
she was cute, and they got rid of her too.
Hand, right?
Yeah, they got rid of her too. I mean, she was set up so we can see that the geek was there. So anyway, we get to season 7, which is thankfully the reinvigoration of the series. It was funny because originally they were going to
no, not the coolest one, but definitely really cool.
What makes me wonder about it is because it was supposed to be 8 seasons only. That's originally the plan. And then, 7 seasons, excuse me. They were only supposed to be 7 seasons. So it makes me wonder what they stretched out and what got...
I'd say, like, seasons 5 and 3 could have been compressed a lot shorter, you know, but...
Yeah, so it makes me wonder where they were at, like, season 6 before Showtime said, okay, we want 2 more seasons. Do you know what I mean? So, obviously something in Steven... I guess it gave him more breathing time, but season 7 was a real huge step up in the series, like the best since season probably 4, I think.
Yeah,
or
and
even
Dokes
2.
comes back.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Dokes. It's always funny to see when they'll do a flashback and a character. Dokes like looks the same, at least, but still, you know, he didn't get any more work on his nose. That's the thing. I wonder if he had.
Let's not get into it. Let's not get into that.
What?
Arrested Development? Is that what you're referencing?
Absolutely not. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the actor who plays Dokes has clearly a nose job or something. I don't know.
Oh, did he? I didn't notice that. I thought you were referencing Lindsay.
No, since season 1, he doesn't have like a predominant like. Forget it. It's gonna just sound like I'm talking about racism.
Well, I mean, if his nose looked one way and it looks a different way, then
no, he just has a really tiny nose for his face, and I always thought it was a nose job. But yeah, Dokes comes back in flashback. The big bad of the season, I guess, was Hannah, and she's interesting. She's a better version to me of Lila.
She's super hot.
Lila was like a psychopath, which I guess is interesting for the show, but she wasn't going around killing people. Hannah in this season is fucking hot. I didn't even know she was in that show Chuck, that NBC show Chuck. She's like she's Australian in real life, and she has a cute accent and stuff. And she's basically this girl who owns a flower shop, and everybody. She's like a Black Widow. Her husband died of a certain way, but this adds a connection between Dexter and her, and he's okay with her being a killer. Like with Lumen, he was in love with her, and she wanted this revenge. But I guess this is the next logical step for him to fall in love with another serial killer like this. And what do you think about season 7 as a whole? I mean, it was great.
Well, Isaac was fucking awesome, and I liked Hannah a lot.
Like I say, I think Isaac had one of the best monologues when there's a part where Dexter's looking around for him, and he finds him at a gay bar because Dexter has killed his boyfriend because I guess his
boyfriend shot a cop.
Yeah, but he also murdered a hooker. So I mean, he wasn't a very good, nice guy. They were like this. What ethnicity were they? They were some Eastern European mafioso type guys.
Were they like supposed to be Russian?
I think they were Slavs or something like that. Slavic. I hope that wasn't racist. I don't know if Slavs is a racist word.
I doubt there's any of them listening.
They were basically
they probably don't have the internet in that third world country.
They were probably.
Now I'm just purposely trying to be a douche.
They're probably a Serbian film kind of people. You know what I mean? They're like just that type of like.
I felt like it was
hardcore guys.
But you could be right. I don't know.
Yeah, so that whole dance between Isaac finding out who Dexter does something every season is that he hasn't learned from season 3.
Oh wait, we forgot to say the biggest thing. Deb finds out that he's a killer in the end of season 6. the last second.
And I guess that's the joke of the season 6 is that he says
the only good thing that happens is the last minute of the whole.
He says, "Oh my God," which is the whole thing about the religious angle of the series. I didn't get that until somebody pointed it out to me.
Right.
And so Deb finds out, so she's kind of like, oh, so she's dancing around what she should do because she helped them cover it up by burning the church down with Travis's body in it. And I mean, it was just like a fucking crazy shit that happened. And he left his blood slide fell inside one of the grates because he's an idiot. Like I was gonna say, his problem is that he takes too long.
Ukraine, that's where Isaac is from. Dexter
takes way too long to deal with the problem. Like he likes the dance of it and hunting people down. For some reason, he does a dance with Miguel Prado. He does a dance with the Trinity Killer. He does a dance with Travis and whoever else. Not really a dance with Travis.
Well, there would be no show if he didn't.
I know, but everybody else, he'll hunt them down and kill them right then. You know what I mean? Like the guy, he killed a guy that was taking photographs of women in suggestively dead poses that didn't actually kill anybody, and he kills them. You know what I mean? He's killed at least 3 innocent people on the show, as far as I know.
Innocent is
the guy who took photos of the girls in dead poses. You think he killed anybody? He didn't kill anybody, so he killed him.
I don't remember that actually.
That was the first, he put him up on the table and he showed him these photos of these like staged murders because all the girls that he took photos of had actually died, but it was somebody else that was doing it. And the guy on the table, he's such an idiot. He's
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure because it was another guy that killed all those characters, and it was a moral dilemma for Dexter for like 3 seconds. So and then there was a guy that he had a problem with. I think it was
a guy that had a pot farm and he killed that guy.
Right, but that guy, I guess you can. It's great, but there's also the guy.
That guy was just trying to bribe him, really.
Remember the guy in the bathroom that he was being pissy with him, and he just beat him to death with a fucking claw hammer or something. That guy didn't do anything as far as we know. And then remember when Dexter banged that girl? He totally cuckolded some teenage boy and fucked her in the back of a store. He's been doing some bad shit. So
he's not exactly the most moral guy.
No, he's probably the worst moral guy. But anyway, in season 7, we had him deal with all this shit. And what were your thoughts? Like, what worked and what didn't work for season 7?
I thought it was a great season. I really don't have any complaints about it.
I like that they made LaGuerta do something. I hated. I wanted to punch.
She's so annoying, but like she has to be. That's like her job.
Right. She's like actually. I mean, she's kind of like she was by season 1. She was kind of like trying to hit on Dexter, but from then on, she kind of came off as an asshole.
She is an asshole.
I was gonna say
she's such like a backstabber.
Yeah, because she was power hungry, and you know what I mean. She's trying to get her shit done. She was friends with Dokes, and when Dokes gets murdered, she was actually used to be lovers with Dokes too. But once he gets murdered, she kind of can't believe that the guy she was dating was this serial murderer, and he wasn't because they framed him as a Bay Harbor butcher. And she kind of came off as an asshole, but I actually was rooting for her. But then I knew it was like, she's going to die. I mean, there's no question she's going to die if she finds out who Dexter is. Yeah. But at least they gave her shit to do. You know what I mean? She was actually actively looking for him. We actually see her being smart until that asshole fuck captain, the ex-captain on his boat, goes up to Dexter, and he's like, she's looking around thinking, fucking idiot.
Oh, no.
And then he's not... I know, right?
Dexter to get away.
I know, but then he's not surprised that she gets murdered by some other guy because she was going. Oh, that's so stupid. Everything that she was saying was accurate, but he just didn't want to believe it.
And they framed the guy that killed Dexter's mom, right?
Yeah, right. Do you like Harry?
I love Harry.
Harry's awesome. Plus Harry's from the Warriors, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Harry's like so great. I mean, I guess he's like one of my favorite characters, even though he's not alive.
Really, yeah. It's so funny. It would be funny if he was a dark passenger, somewhat given form. But season 7 was really good as a whole. I mean, some logic stuff aside, I think it was probably a really true to form, return to how the series should be. You know what I mean? Like good drama and deaths and all that crazy shit. The thing is with the show is that for some reason to me, it doesn't seem like the violence is as good as the first season ever was. Right. Like for me, the first season it was really graphically violent.
There's a lot of
and the way he killed people, like it wasn't really off screen most of the time. Like and he killed people different ways, like hammers through the head and shit like that. Like he didn't just slice their throats or stab them in the heart. Like he does it really clinically. Maybe they just wanted to make him look that horrible of a monster.
I mean, the cool violence is more on the bad guys than on Dexter.
Because I remember Dexter when he there was one part where he brings a saw down to a guy, and then the shot right after was him dumping the guy's head inside of a bag, and you never see that anymore. You just see him stab him really nicely.
Oh, and you got to admit, in season 6, there is a scene where Travis puts all the dead bodies like roped together on a horse. That's fucking cool.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool actually. Yeah, that was.
There was some cool shit.
There was some cool murder. That's why I say it was more like Saw, like that whole thing with the girl whose ribs were split open, so she had angel wings, shit like that.
Right, and the fucking weird cult people that followed Travis, like they were so creepy.
Now
there was some good shit in there.
Now if they had the level of murders that they do on Hannibal, on Dexter, that would be fucking great.
I feel like Hannibal is like the same level. I don't think it's better.
You're probably right, because I think you're right, but I think
Hannibal's a more artsy show.
Yeah, that's probably why I prefer Hannibal at this moment to Dexter, just because
it's got an Antichrist feel.
We'll
talk about that.
It has a really beautiful art aesthetic to it. So then we lead to the finale. How did it go? We had Hannah finds a way to escape prison. Dexter puts Deborah in a really bad situation that she kills LaGuardia instead of killing her brother. Although LaGuardia was like, kill him, like really badly acting. She could have said, arrest him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And instead of just standing there, if I was LaGuardia, I would have walked up to Deborah. Do you know what I mean? Well, then Dexter was there standing with his knife. But like, if in your head, would you just be sitting there going, shoot him? I'd be like, scrambling to Deborah and be like, okay, arrest this motherfucker. Even though she probably still killed him. Vince Masuka is still not doing anything. Although, remember they had him set up with some hot little girlfriend in one of the seasons, like before when he was setting up Dexter's.
She's awesome. He said something like immediately in the new episode. What did he say? Oh God, that new woman came in and like said something, and he did like a Beavis and Butthead, like she said.
Oh right, yeah.
Whatever the hell.
I think it was self-insert, some stupid phrase like that. But there was like that was another thing they dropped, like. Vince was set up with some hot girl who was setting up Dexter's wedding, and then she vanished too. I was like, what the fuck? At least let him get some ass. But anyway, so we're left with that. And season 8 premieres how? 6 months after, right?
Well, I'm trying to think how it immediately starts. I know that Deb is like doing coke and shit, like all these things. Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the first shot though.
She's in her new phase of drug-addled hoe.
Right.
She's working undercover, and people online are being like, "Why would she be undercover if she's probably one of the most well-known like police lieutenants on television?"
This guy doesn't know who she is.
Right. So I mean, not everybody knows. I mean, we live in New York, so I know who Ray, whatever his name is, the guy, the police commissioner. I know who the mayor is. You know, we know all those people. But right. I guess in TV land, you can't. I guess you can be a bounty hunter and just kind of do it, but she's doing it. Kind of seems like it's like a real step down from what she did. Like she's basically
she's like a bounty hunter.
Yeah, that's what I just said. She's trying to find the stuff that these guys have fenced, like these jewelry and shit like that. And Dexter's actively trying to pursue her to look for her because she's not answering her phone calls. There's a new female Dokes who appeared briefly in season 7. We just call her female Dokes.
Who's that? Evan Vogel?
The young lady, the new detective that's with the group. The one that Batista goes, "Oh, what size are your pants?" And she's like, "What? You don't need to know that." Yeah. And she's like there for whatever reason, because apparently some people have been saying, "Oh, they're gonna do a spin-off of Dexter," but they don't say how.
She mean? I don't remember.
No, she seems all right. I mean, she kind of seems like a blank slate. Like they don't really have that many ethnic characters on Dexter. They're either Cuban or white. You know what I mean? And there was like Dokes died, then he was replaced by Quinn, but then they had another African American guy who was Mike. What's his name? The black cop.
They got killed. And
he got killed like the first episode of season 6, and you're like, what the fuck happened to him?
7.
By 7, sorry. And then they kill him, and then he's replaced by this girl. What I want to know is what happened to the internal affairs cop, the cute one that was chasing around Quinn because she knew that he was a dirty cop. Remember her? She vanished. She never came back to find out what happened to Quinn. You're like, what fucking happened to this girl?
I guess it doesn't matter really.
I guess it really doesn't. But supposedly Showtime is thinking about making a spin-off with, I guess maybe the cops or somebody else from Dexter. I don't know.
They shouldn't do that.
They should do a Vince Masuka party hour. Like he just goes,
You're right.
He's like every episode, just running around looking for girls and shit. What would you go? What do you think would work with this season premiere?
This episode, like usually with Dexter in particular, like the first 4 episodes of the season are like nothing. Usually it's like very slow moving and like, you know, it's very gradually getting you into it, and then by the end it's like crazy. This is like already crazy, like it instantly is crazy. They really compacted like so much into this one episode. If the whole season is like this is gonna be the craziest season there is.
Yeah, I think they're going the right route because Deborah's already fucked up. Deborah's trying to avoid him. She's like, I wish it was you I shot. Now little Harrison talks and he wears fruity light blue jeans. Yeah. He's getting himself into Dennis the Menace like shenanigans.
He breaks vases. I predict that Batista's going to find the broken vase and like take offense, and now he's going to be suspicious of Dexter.
I don't think he'd be suspicious, but there's definitely a file that he sees, right, that he thinks is weird.
But he rips it up.
Yeah, he's an asshole. And I swear to you, I think somebody's going to die and look weird at his bench.
Oh, yeah?
I totally think somebody's going to get killed on that bench, because there's a reason for that bench that it's there.
Maybe Deb will, like, blow her brains out on it or something.
What do you think's going to happen? You think
Dexter all I know is I really do not want him to just get caught and get the death penalty and everyone know. I want him to go out either with a huge bang, kill a bunch of, like, really bad people and then kill himself or something. Or I want, like, Deb to kill him.
What if, like, he joins, like, a terrorist cell?
He becomes like Al-Qaeda.
And then you see him put... You know, the opening is the same fucking opening for 8 years straight. You see him putting out a bomb strap on his chest.
It's like... They cut the orange, all this stuff, and then it just goes like a desert scene, and there's like a cave or something.
He doesn't have that many people to kill because he's now in, like, Afghanistan. And anyway, so then there's, like, a new character, Ellison. I think that's the guy's name who runs... He was a cop, and he I don't know if his name is Ellison, I'm sorry. I think he was one of the Boondock Saints, am I right?
Oh, the one that's the bounty hunter boss?
Yeah, is that one of the Boondock Saints? I could be wrong, I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I didn't care about him. My main character that I loved was the Dr. Vogel, whatever.
Jacob Elway, excuse me, was Sean Patrick Flannery, who was one of the... Sorry to cut you off, one of the Boondock Saints, who was one of the other one was Daryl, obviously, from The Walking Dead. But go ahead, yeah. Vogel. Vogel is now this... She's a neurologist, and she also studies serial killers?
Neuroscientist, psychologist, whatever. But, like, instantly, the whole time, she's, like, just on Dexter's ass, like, looking at him and talking to him, and it's, like, the whole time you're getting creeped out, like, but, like, I didn't expect it to conclude so quickly.
I think what they realized, they got one season left, so they were like, this is good.
They really, like, that, if this, yeah, I think if they had more seasons, that would have happened in episode 4 or something, like, the realization that she knows his whole code and everything.
She's got that English accent. She's got that cold motherfucking look. She looks like more of a psychopath than Dexter is. And I think what they're leading up to with the previews for the next episode is that she probably had some... there's something dirty about her, obviously, because she knows Dexter is a killer.
I think she's having an affair with Harry or something.
It'd be funny if she was Dexter's mom, if that was it. But, because she kind of looks like him. She actually looks like Michael Z. Hall with a longer wig. Like whenever they had the flashbacks of Dexter as a teenager, and he's clearly a 40-year-old man with a long wig on. It's the worst. God. But yeah, Vogel's like this really tough lady, and the way they're making it look like is that she had some patients that she probably either said were okay, and then she wants him to hunt them down and kill them for her.
Right.
And she's like, "You can't kill me. I'm not in your code." But I'm like, he's killed a bunch of people that had nothing to do with murdering anybody. So, in fact, he kills a guy today because the guy was. Just wanted to kick his ass. You know what I mean? There's a whole bunch of shit going on. And then another guy...
Well, he's like losing it now. He tried to kill that black guy in the car, remember?
Yeah, and of course the black guy wouldn't look at his license plates and report him to the police with his kid in the car. Right? No, nobody would do that. Nobody would ever do that. So they're looking for this new killer who's pulling out, I guess, the lump in the brain that processes empathy for people, I believe, or some sort of feeling. And Vogel's there just to they bring her in to kind of wonder what this shit is all about. And I think it's a really strong opening, and I'm very happy what they're going to do with it. Quinn is fucking Batista's sister, and I think in the trailer it looked like Batista punched the shit out of Quinn. And rightfully
Oh, really?
so. Yeah, it looks like it in the trailer for the next episode. But I think it's going to be a really good season because
It's gonna be amazing.
Dexter kills Deborah's boyfriend in the first episode, and she's like, "Fuck!" She still covers up for him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's no way it's like a.
And then, oh my god, they showed her confessing in the trailer.
Yeah. She probably confessed to illegally parking. It's probably not gonna be anything huge.
She's like, I parked my car in a handicap zone.
But it's going good. I think it's gonna be a really, really good season. And just the scene alone with Vogel, where he was talking to, where she was talking to Dexter about, you know, in her office about shit, and it was just like creepy, and the music was like perfect for the scene. It was like, to me, I felt the same way when I saw him speaking with Isaac at the gay bar. Like, it was just a really cool scene between these two enemies. And I hope like people say...
But she's not an enemy. She's like a friend. It's
weird.
But
she's setting him up for him to do jobs for her. Just for her knowing him, that he's a killer, she's already morally... what's the word? You're morally fucked up. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm trying to find the smarter word, but I can't, obviously.
Enabling?
And then, no, forget it. Who cares?
Corrupt?
They had like what? Well, corrupt? Sort of corrupt, but I think there's another word where you're like, it's like one of those really high class words where you're like an agent.
I don't know anything about
exactly. That's why'd you make me keep going on. But they show like a kite that was flying earlier in the episode has landed in the bushes, all fucked up. So we're kind of like Dexter sits on LaGuardia's chair, so that
what an ugly
signifies
bench
something.
too.
It is.
It's kind of Miami.
You can tell it's a fucking cheap prop. That's why. Something's gonna happen. I know it with that fucking. Maybe not, but something will happen. I hope. I'm proven right. So, what is your rating for this first episode? Was it Brand New Day? A Beautiful Day?
Beautiful Day. 10 out of 10.
Beautiful Day. I will also.
10 out of 10. Crabby old women that had sex with your dad probably and masturbated at the idea of her beautiful son.
I will give it a 10 out of 10. Lieutenant's young sister who was disgusted by you clearly in one of the first seasons is obviously just fucking you. What's his name? Quinn within the next season. And with that, Danny. Hold on, let me get the music going on. What's the final word?
Get the music, come on.
What's the final word?
Sha 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 sha.
With your host Alex and
Nick, don't go in there. It's suicide.
Wow, the devil's chair reference. Today's it's Bay Harbor bitching again with Dexter season 8, episode 2, and the name of the episode is
Every Silver Lining,
and it stars Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, and they go into this little dance competition towards it. So Danny, what's this episode about?
Oh, so much happens. It's really cool.
Step up or step down from the last episode?
Well, a step down, I suppose, but I mean, it's hard to maintain that, but it's still really good. But, like, so much happens, like, it's about, it gets more into, like, Dr. Vogel, because you find out that she knows Harry's code and everything, and, like, you find out more about, like, Dexter's origins and shit, and it gets into Deb and everything. It's really cool.
Well, Deborah is now becoming a crazy murderer now. Every Silver Lining is the name of the episode. Why do you think Deborah is not reacting well to being a cold-blooded murderer?
Well, she's not like Dexter. She's a nice person.
What are things you liked about the episode?
I love hearing about Dexter's origins. It's really cool. Like, basically, this Dr. Vogel, like, almost, like, created him the way... Oh, and I have a sick theory that me and my friend said. Can I tell you my theory?
Go ahead.
Okay, so the idea that Dr. Vogel, like, basically is commissioning Dexter to kill this person, whatever, and then you find out at the end that the guy that you think is the serial killer is being held at gunpoint. Mm-hmm. So my friend was like, imagine that's Dr. Vogel holding the gun.
That's what I heard too, yeah. That's what
but then with that said, so if her way of killing people, because she's fascinated with psychopaths, her way of killing people is that she's going to make other people do the dirty work at gunpoint, so now she can't even kill herself. She's going to make Dexter do the dirty work and kill her. Like, she created him to stop her one day.
It's interesting, but I wonder if she killed that guy, how did she have the strength to lift him up? Because he was easily 100 pounds heavier than she was.
I'm sure she, like, killed him first by suffocating him or whatever, and then...
She shot him in the head, remember?
Okay, so then I'm sure once
Did she shoot him in the head so hard that he flew into his cabin onto a noose? Maybe that's what happened.
I'm sure that she could make him get up there at gunpoint.
Yeah, it's obviously pointing that she's the one that's the baddie, the big bad, obviously.
But I love the idea that she created Dexter specifically to one day kill her. I think that's awesome.
I think I like Vogel as a bad guy. She's pretty neat. What are things that you did not like in this episode?
Well, not much. I think I really liked everything.
I think it's chugging along. I think the reason why it's probably just a little bit lesser than the first episode, because the first one had brought us back to speed,
And yeah, we were waiting
many
for
plot
so
lines.
damn long, and now we're used to it.
Do you really give a shit about Jamie Batista's relationship with what's
Quinn?
his face? Yeah, not really. right?
Not really. I mean, that's all of those other characters to me are like interesting filler.
I like
that
that
I like it, but I don't care that much.
I like that Angel's a good enough detective to find that his sister's fucking somebody, but he can't figure out a serial murder that's next to him for like years.
Yeah. I also have a theory that you remember when Dexter broke that vase that was given to him?
Yeah.
Well, actually, his son broke it. I think that's gonna tip off Angel that he.
You still think
might,
that, right?
I do think that Angel will eventually see that or be like, find out, and that will make him on to Dexter.
Wait till you see the episode where he's sitting down and his son, what's his son's name?
Oh God, Harrison.
Harrison, like he's gonna be sitting down on LaGuardia's chair, and then Harrison's gonna split the chair in half by mistake. And he's gonna yell at him again. Harrison, I told you, stuff like that. But
Him yelling at the kid wasn't uncalled for either. I would yell at a kid too if they did something like
even
that.
if somebody you didn't know, right? Just yell at the kid. But
I don't know. He broke something.
I like Deborah going a little psychopath. People are saying, oh, maybe Deborah's the one who becomes a serial killer and Dexter has to kill her, which is interesting. I don't think that we get to
I think that I have so many theories, but I think that I would much rather that either Dexter gets killed or that Deb kills him or he kills himself.
They kill each other?
Or they kill each other or something besides him getting caught and going to jail.
I wonder how they're going to figure out the Harrison angle and, who takes care of the kids if he dies. Because there's people saying, I remember reading somewhere that they felt that it would be unfit for him to not have closure, Dexter. Because you figured he would still keep killing people. Do you know what I mean? If he
There's got to be some kind of closure. I'm going to be a little upset if it just goes on,
Yeah, I see what you say. You kind of want a definitive end for him.
I don't care if he dies or he escapes and starts a new life or what, but it's got to be something different.
You think he'll go to jail? Hannah will come back?
That'll suck if he goes to jail. Yeah, maybe Hannah kills him. Who knows?
It's so weird. The logic in the show is kind of weird where Hannah would go to jail and not tell on him. I don't know. Even though he set her up to get arrested. It's very strange. But I think so far it's chugging along pretty well. I like Vogel's a bad guy. I liked Deborah's fighting with that guy, whatever the hell his name is, the Spanish guy.
Sapo?
El Sapo.
What does that mean, by the way?
Sapo, Sapo, I thought it was a Spanish word for, like, sap from a tree or something.
You're fucking Spanish. How do you not know?
You didn't tell me. Let me look it up. Go ahead. Talk about more good stuff.
He's
like
Spanish, and he doesn't even speak his own language. What's wrong with this guy?
Do you have any other theories of what's going on? What was that really cool sequence where Quinn was looking at Deb in her car, and she just had a look on her face? And I think it kind of connected dots to him that something was fucking going on with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's clear something. I think it's becoming obvious to everyone something's going on with her. Why would you leave your job, and why is she taking LaGuardia so badly?
Because, was that happened after he asked her questions about, or was that before? Remember
that was after.
Interrogation? Oh, so so obviously stuff is clicking in for Quinn. And
Dexter interrupted that meeting because he could see she was about to have a breakdown or something.
Sapo is the Portuguese and Spanish word for toad, by the way. So it's like a frog.
The toad.
Sapo.
And then and he was he was a bad guy, but he's not the worst guy. He didn't kill her.
He's not really a terrible person. He just kind of lets killers slide. Kind of like when he told keep an eye on Deb because he figures somebody's looking out for trying to kill Deb because they killed the original her druggy boyfriend. And
I was talking about El Sapo actually.
Oh.
I was saying El Sapo's not that bad a guy because he could have killed Deb and he didn't.
Right, he only gets paid to kill people. I like that little fight that they had with each other. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, it's nice.
But so far from this second episode, what do you think's going to happen? You think Quinn's going to find out that she's an asshole killing people?
I think that. Well, you remember there's a preview of her confessing. I thought that was. I assumed that was going to be LaGuardia.
I thought the trailers were all fucked around. I think what she's doing, she's talking to Dexter and Vogel. in the scene, right? I think that's what they showed her, and she's talking to both of them.
Yeah.
And they obviously altered the fucking audio on the trailers to make it misleading, because you see her walking in the episode, the second episode, when she's walking into the police precinct. Mm-hmm. They put the sound of her saying, "I want to confess," crying, and then realize it's from the sequence of her talking to Dexter and Vogel. So I don't think she's gonna confess and go to jail for the rest of the season. They're just fucking around. And
I really thought she was going to confess about LaGuardia, but now I was thinking maybe she'll confess about El Sapo.
Right, and Vogel is kind of playing around with
she's
killing.
Creepy, and I'm almost 100% positive, once my friend said that she is the killer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. I mean, she's really like they're really telephoning it in with that shit.
Also, for someone that's so scared that a guy is in her house, she calls Dexter, "There's a guy in my house," blah blah blah. She probably walked in there, put that CD on the fucking computer, and then walked out and calmly called him, because she didn't seem that scared,
No, not at all. So what do you give this episode out of 10?
I'm gonna give it like a fucking 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Drop kicking Deb in the
that's what I was gonna
chest.
say.
That was an intense kick.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Quinn making a racial motivated crack at his girlfriend about Cubans.
Oh, yeah. I swore he was going to make fun of Spanish people when he's like, "What's with you people?" I thought he meant you people, like as in Spanish people.
That's what he meant, Cubans.
But he kind of
but
didn't
it wasn't
go
so
that
bad,
way.
right? It wasn't so bad.
He kind of covered it.
So, Danny, what's the final word?
Nick! Don't go in there! It's suicide!
Dexter's episode is Season 8, Episode 3, titled...
wait, what are our names?
What's eating Dexter
What
Morgan?
are our names?
Oh, who cares? Alex and...
I want to know.
Alex and...
Jaja Gabor.
Jaja. Yeah, I feel bad for Jaja. She's like... They had to amputate one of her legs, and she's in her...
They should give her starfish genes so she could grow it back.
Or is it salamander? Do they grow back tails and stuff? Or... a
lot of lizards do, actually.
You know what's funny? Her husband is this guy
Some
called...
lizards actually can, amputate their own tails, make it disconnect if they get caught or something.
Squirrels can do that, too. They can, if you pull them, they can release their tail and grow a new one. Which is weird about a squirrel. Yeah, that's very weird.
Squirrels, and they're mammals. I didn't know mammals did sick shit like that.
And also, one more note about Jaja Gabor. Her husband's name is Prince von A-hole. I'm
not even quite sure who Jaja Gabor is. I just like the name.
She was in the... Oh, gosh. I don't know. Was she on that stupid show, Green Acres, with the pig and the rich people living in... Who cares?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's not a stupid show. Come on.
If you ever saw...
Green Acres is the place to be.
Where people with white skin could live freely. She was also in the beginning of, what was that? The Naked Gun, when she slaps the police siren at the beginning. Because in real life, she slapped the cop.
Yeah, she curses at it.
Yeah, in real life, she slapped the cop for giving her a ticket.
Supposedly she's crazy. Yeah, okay, if that's her, then yeah, she's supposed to be crazy in real life.
Okay, so
anyway, Dexter
Season 8, Episode 3, What's Eating Dexter Morgan? This episode is about... We open with Dexter waking up to Harrison calling his name. Oh man, I'm not even going to read this. This is on IMDb. They actually gave the whole episode idea. So, give us a little rundown of what happens on this episode of Dexter, Danny.
Okay. Oh, gee, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, yeah, it's all mixed up in my head. But, Jesus Christ, some of the stuff that happens in this with Deb and... Oh, God. Okay, so Deb's...
Jesus Christ, Danny, get a hold of yourself.
I'd say it's a Deb episode. Kind of. Really focusing on her.
It's really
good.
And
she's just fucking spiraling out. She's drunk. She gets pulled DWI. I think that's the beginning, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she's just passed down a car, and then she calls Quinn, and Quinn goes to get her at 4 a.m. so she doesn't go to jail and stuff. And it's really just okay. And then Dexter and Dr. Vogel are honing in on her patients, trying to see, and there's this fruity gym guy that they think...
Wow, what a after we passed the allowance of gays to get married, look how just evil you are. Fruity.
I'm talking about fruit, man. Star fruit from Chinatown. It's the only place you could get those things.
So this episode, I'm kind of still confused about Vogel Vogel is sending Dexter out to sniff around some of her former patients to see who was the one sending her these death threats. I assume.
I had a theory.
Yes, and now
I
it's
don't know
gone
if I
to
said
shit,
this
right?
last time, but I had a theory that Vogel is actually, the one behind the scenes pulling the strings, the killer, and she's setting up Dexter to kill her. Like this is her way of killing herself because she doesn't like to do the dirty work, so she's gonna have him. But now I don't think that anymore.
Yeah. It's kind of like the idea that I had that when Hannah...
She's definitely bad. She is bad.
I had that idea about Hannah not poisoning Deb and Deb faking being poisoned by Hannah, but it was actually Hannah that did it, which I thought would have been better if Deb faked it, so it would be more dramatic.
Yeah.
But,
Dr. Vogel is being hunted now because she is genuinely scared, but I also do think she is bad because she's, basically trying to almost manipulate Dexter into killing his own sister. Then it shows in the previews for the next episode that she's, kind of guilt-tripping Deb and stuff. She's not a good person.
She's definitely planting ideas for Dexter to kill Deborah. There's no question about it. She's also... When Deborah was taken into the apartment and she was passed out, she looked at these these pills. So it's definitely setting up Vogler trying to overdose Deb or something, or it's just like a red herring. I don't know.
My friend came up with a theory that maybe Dexter or someone will kill Vogel at the end, and then Dexter will no longer feel the need to kill because she's kind of like the puppet master. But I don't agree with that.
But she has.
But I think that would be a cop out.
She's had no interference with his life until the eighth season later. 8 seasons into it, She's not been putting him on the path of. I mean, she initially her idea put him on the path.
Set him on the path.
Right,
but
I mean.
But and then also the idea that maybe she killed Harry and made it look like.
Oh well, that's no, but Harry committed suicide, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
maybe she killed Harry.
Dexter knows better than anyone that it's easy to fake shit like that.
That's true. I think there was a little nod to the novel Dexter is Delicious, which was the 5th book. But which makes me wonder if all the seasons had
why I never read it, so don't spoil
Dexter. No, he fights a guy that has that deals with cannibalism in it. So,
okay.
So there was a little, definitely two different
the Jim
things.
Rat is Jeffrey Dahmer, basically.
That's the weird thing about the books is that I don't really remember them. I don't know if that's a really bad
only
writing
200
or something.
pages, right?
Yeah, they're very lean novels. I listen to the audiobooks, so I mean it's even more flighty when I think about them. But it's totally different from.
And you know what? That totally off topic, but you posted a audiobook on YouTube of
Dexter, yeah, Dexter.
of World War Z recently.
Yes, I did.
But then I realized, just so everyone knows, that is actually an edited version. It's half the book.
Do they say racial epithets or something?
No, it's a bridge. It's a bridge that they actually cut out a lot of.
Oh, okay, right. I thought it was the unabridged.
I'm looking at it and I'm listening to it just for fun. I've read the book, but I was just like, let me read it again.
What did they cut out?
Doing nothing, but then
did they make it less boring or more boring?
The actual thing is 12 hours.
Oof! Forget that book. All right,
it's not accurate either. It's just some guy reading it, as opposed to Mark Hamill and Max Brooks and all these people in on it.
So let's talk about Jennifer Carpenter's. She's really good in this episode. I mean, just like in every other episode.
She should get fucking Best Actress.
Yeah, an Emmy or something, because she's really good. Because
a
lot of people are like, "Oh, she overacts all the time." I'm like, dude, she's a highly combustible kind of character.
She definitely has been on heroin in her life and knows how to tap that or something.
Yeah, her drunkenness is really good. And when she actually came in to say that she killed LaGuardia, I was like, holy shit, they're actually gonna do it. And as soon as I saw that she said it to Quinn, I was like, Quinn's gonna die or something.
Yeah.
But then Quinn is
scene. This show gives me such anxiety.
Yeah, they did it. They're doing it good. They're actually making it watchable again. My only problem.
The best season, by far.
My only problem with this episode is when Dexter, he actually, is trying to set Deborah straight. He's like, listen, you saved the guy's life, and she's showing her footage from I think one of the previous seasons before she became captain. I think.
Yeah, I think it was season 2, my friend.
And the footage he's showing her is obviously supposed to be cell phone camera. I told you every time it bothers me. He's showing her footage from the episode itself, so it's slickly edited and all this shit. I was like, why couldn't they just fucking?
He's like, this is footage from one of the people that was filming us.
He's like, Deborah,
She's like, I remember acting in that episode.
He's like, Deborah, look at this.
Break the wall.
look at this DVD, Deborah. And he's like, watch it. I'm like, why couldn't they just shoot some? And the guy got fatter too, right? What a shame. She saved his life so he could eat more carbs.
What an asshole.
But okay, so Vogel, there's definitely some weird administration.
You know, it would
with
be
her.
funny if they investigated further and found out that he like molests his kids or something terrible. Like, so actually, it's a bad thing.
That's what I thought too. Like it was really
she goes
dark.
like totally insane, and starts killing people.
What were your? Did you have any lowlights with this episode or no? I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a perfect episode.
I haven't had any bad thing to say about any episode of this season. It is fucking brilliant.
I mean, it's
just getting better and better. I mean, the first episode alone, like, it really was because this is a slow show. Like, it usually takes 4 or 5 episodes to really start. You know,
but
like
these,
every season,
these have been
no
really
how
like
good
these have been really ramping it up though.
Yeah, this first episode was like, holy shit, like, they just squeezed 4 episodes into 1 episode, and they've done that every episode, and it's just getting better and better. But now, I guess they caught the guy, basically. They haven't killed him yet. Oh, no, he did kill him at the end, yeah. So they killed the brain surgeon killer, I guess, but then I suppose not, because then in the previews it shows that he's still there, but... So I guess it's more than one guy that...
No, they say it in the episode. They're like, he's not the guy, because instead of...
His brains in his fucking...
No, but he's eating the he's eating the victims. He's not sending pieces out to other people.
Okay.
That's the difference between him and the guy who's actually murdering these people.
Basically, like, a lot of her patients are fucking killers.
Isn't it so convenient?
That's what Dexter should have been doing all along. Instead of doing all this hard research, he should have been, like, recruiting her patients.
Yeah, right? Isn't it, like, convenient, though, that he's able to do that? That the guy actually is a murderer, like all these people are actually killers, and it justifies him going to kill them and stuff.
I mean, was that actually the first kill of his in the whole season so far? I think it might have been, right?
I don't...
I'm trying to think...
No. He stabbed Deborah's the guy that she was tailing.
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't like a kill. That was just a, you know...
That was a huge overreaction.
Ritual.
That was a giant overreaction, you know what I mean? That he killed that guy, because that guy was just kind of pushing him out of the way, and he just stabbed him to death.
But I'm saying, like, he hasn't done a ritual kill yet. This is the first time.
I guess, yeah.
I think so. I can't remember him putting up the flag. Although he didn't show any pictures or anything.
Right. He only had to show him, like, sliding his iPhone. He was just sliding the pictures left and right. But,
Technology, it makes killing so much easier. Also, Mizuka came out with a really great line, and she actually said, "Oh, you should put that on a T-shirt." It's like, suicide makes it easier for all of us, makes life easier for everyone, or whatever. And that is a great thing, because it's so funny, because if you have a lot of problems, I mean, not that I'm promoting suicide, but yeah, it would definitely make your problems easier.
Not on Tumblr. Don't promote suicide on Tumblr, because then it'll be like a million girls going nuts.
No, please,
don't do it, kids.
Never do that. I'm joking.
Because then who can listen to our show?
I'm totally joking.
So what do you? The Quinn, Batista, and his sister is kind of a little boring, but not horrible. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, well, you know,
Quinn
all
is
those
fine.
Side stories are always a little boring because no one cares as much about Angel or whatever. I like him, but you know, he's boring.
And the new female cop, they keep trying to give her lines, but she's like walking into the season like, who the fuck is she? There's nobody I know.
Yeah.
They could have kept that little hot.
Like she replaced Mike, whatever, the black cop that got killed by Isaac.
I don't see in colors. What do you think's going on with this season so far? Where do you see it going?
I just have so many theories. First of all, they have not even addressed Hannah. Like,
I thought she would be back. She is going to be
like
back,
so much
right?
more into it, and my mom keeps spitting out all these theories, and it's like messing with my head at this point.
I think Hannah will be back. But they have all these ideas that
back.
They're saying like Hannah and Dexter will go off to wherever that country was.
Well, Hannah's gonna fucking try to kill Dexter.
No, she's not. She's gonna try to bring him back, I think.
I don't know. She's not a trustworthy person.
Wow, she's a white woman. Is that what it is?
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
she's bad. Like
She is a bad person. Yeah, and he was like.
She tried to kill fucking Deb.
I wonder if the showrunners are like, you know what? If people want Dexter to die, I'm not gonna give it to them, so he won't kill him. Kind of like how
I don't want him to go to jail. That's
kind of like how
know.
David Chase didn't kill Tony Soprano in the final episode. He kind of just let him be.
Yeah, they let it
because they didn't want it to be. I remember one of the episodes towards the end of the season, of the final season of. Did you ever see Sopranos or no?
I've seen a couple of episodes, but no, it's one of those shows I've always meant to watch, and then he just died, so now I'm like, okay, I guess I should watch it now.
Out of respect. Anyway, but I remember the setup before the final episode had him and his goons like loading guns up And
yeah, no, I saw that actually.
You know what I mean? And then the next episode was just kind of talking and stuff. It was nothing. I was like, oh, that was a really good fake out, I guess. But it's like one of those characters that are bad, but you rooted for them throughout the show. But there's a point where you want them to die. It's kind of like Breaking Bad when you watch a character. I want Heisenberg to win.
I want Dexter to die more than I want him to go to jail. I do not want him to go to jail. I hope if he does go to jail, he pulls a Ted Bundy and like loses some weight and escapes through a ventilation shaft or something, and then escapes.
I actually saw that on the I think the ID channel or something. I've been watching like marathons.
Ted Bundy's like one of those. Whoa, that guy's fucking. I mean, yeah, he's sick and shit, but you can't help but just be in awe of like how fucking crazy that is.
Yeah, that guy's pretty nuts. The one where he walked into that girl's campus and just started slaughtering. He's a real fucking psychopath, and he was like all.
He goes to jail, gets arrested. Breaks out by losing a ton of weight and then kills more people and gets caught again. What the fuck? He just has to kill people.
That reminds me of real, like, just hearing about people when they break out of jail is really, like, mind-blowing for some reason, because, like, you think, oh, that's like a movie or something, because there was, like, I read this really excellent book called Pimp by this guy who's called Iceberg Slim. He was, like, the antithesis of what a pimp is from the but his pimping was,
like,
like,
a cool pink fur coat or something?
No, his pimping game was like from the 20s on. So he was like, he's one of the originators. Yeah, I guess so. And he talked about how he broke out of jail once. And I'm reading the book and I'm like, well, he like, just didn't like a cop read this and maybe found out he broke out of jail? I don't know. It's always interesting. But yeah, Hannah broke out of jail, which is looping us back to the show. And I definitely think she'll come back.
I don't remember.
I definitely think she'll come back. I think Vogel will have something to do with Hannah.
You remember how Hannah escaped? I don't remember.
She faked poisoning herself. Well, she did poison herself a little bit, and at the car the transport machine, the vehicle, excuse me. And then while she was in the hospital, she kind of unhooked herself or something and got away with her.
Okay.
I think was her pregnant friend helping her, or the girl?
Oh yeah,
somebody was helping
that
her.
girl too.
Some skankoid. So she got away. I think definitely Hannah will come back and either leave with Dexter out or Dexter will get killed. Deborah doesn't look like she's going to make it towards the end of the season.
Deb might kill Dexter is where I think realistically it's going to go.
I wonder if they both kill each other.
But then again, in the next episode, in the previews anyway, it looked like she was talking very normally with him and like seemed sane for the first time.
Yeah, I think we have like about 7 episodes left of this. About 10 episodes left actually. So we'll see. It's going to be a really...
I know I dread every episode because it's always like this like knot in my stomach when I watch a show.
And the fact that it's a final season, it's just like, oh shit, it's coming to an end. And at least
no matter what they do, I think it will be good.
Yeah, and at least it's kind of taking its time, but also throwing everything at us. So I think it's really good.
Like I could tell the writing's so good in these episodes. There's really no way they're just gonna fuck it up at the end. Like.
Dexter wakes up like that. The opening credits are what he's been.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, right.
He's Dorothy.
So, what are your predictions for the next 10 episodes? What do you think is going to be going on with Dexter?
Well, the next, I think that Vogel is going to be exposed to be really evil. Whether or not she is actually the killer or not, which I don't think she is anymore, unless she's so schizo that she fucking. Sent a text to herself or something, who knows? And
the other theory is that maybe Dexter has a split personality this season, but I don't think it's really working out that way.
Dexter doesn't have a split personality. But I think Vogel's going to be exposed as being evil. I think she might have killed Harry, and I think that Deb is going to kill Dexter, and everyone is going to find out what Dexter is, but I hope that it goes towards he's more of a good guy than a bad guy.
I guess we'll find out.
Like Batman, basically, or something.
So what? They'll build a giant statue for him at the end, like they did with Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, he's got like a big cock, and he's holding a butcher knife in his hand.
People put their hangers on it on the summer day, and then maybe they'll put his statue sitting on LaGuardia's chair, whatever the fuck is the bench. So right. What is your rating for this episode?
I give it 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Deb drunkenly confessing to Quinn as all he's thinking about is how nice it was to finger her back in the day.
Did he say that? Oh, he's thinking about it.
I read his mind.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
He's thinking how he wishes she was a plastic doll so he could fuck her.
That awkward sex scene. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. The scene in the episode where Vogel is in between Quinn and Dexter while they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with Deborah. You You can see Vogel's eyes looking left and right. It's one of the most funniest things
Did
ever.
you see the way
I
she
thought-
smiles like so quickly when he's like, "Quick, grab this," and she grabs the notebook and then just looks up and smiles like so.
I think that paperwork is gonna come back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
that
It might,
she's gonna hold it as ransom or something.
I think they should shred it.
That something's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, Deb is really the problem. She's going to confess again.
Yeah.
eventually.
But so far, so good. I think it's been a really great season so far, and I guess we'll catch it up next time. So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
In Dexter's lab.
Your host, Alex.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
And today's episode is Bay Harbor Bitching, which is episode 5 of season 8 of Dexter, which is called...
Oh, God. I thought we were doing something else.
Baby. Gotcha. It's season 8, episode 5.
4.
Huh?
4.
Is it 4?
Yeah, we're so bad. We don't know shit.
Why does my on-demand have episode 5 up already then?
I don't know.
Am I seeing an episode in the future? Ooh, maybe I'm special. Anyway, I forget the name. Go look up the name of this episode. But it's basically...
Scar tissue.
Scar tissue. Correct, though. Scar tissue is... set up the episode, Daniel.
Okay, well, the last episode left us off with Deb trying to confess, Dexter shooting her in the neck with a needle.
Shooting her in the neck.
Needling her in the neck.
Excellent.
And then...
Dr. Vogel.
And then, taking her basically under hostage with, what's-her-face? Dr. Vogel.
We found out that Dr. Vogel is not setting up the murders, as we thought.
I really do think that she has some kind of sinister thing, though. She is bad.
She is. I mean, another theory wiped out that I thought, but I don't think if I vocalized it enough, that she killed Harry. I thought she did. But apparently that got wiped out too, because they said
maybe the way she created Dexter, maybe she
Ah.
purposely created the guy that does the brain surgery.
She could have killed Harry too, because think about it. Remember when they said Harry took his what is he overdosed on his heart medicine?
Yeah, heart medicine.
Remember the episode when they had knocked out Deborah, and she was looking at that bottle of pills at a long time. Like, they showed a shot of a bottle of pills for some reason. Maybe that might have been a red herring for us to be like, oh, she's gonna drug her, but I don't know, that kind of stunk in my head. But they did say Harry killed himself, so that was another idea. I guess that went to the toilet. But and another thing, we see who the guy is. I guess we find out who the killer is. Dexter's so...
Yeah, but do we know 100%? I mean, it kind of makes it obvious, but...
I think so. What I think is going on...
They never mentioned toes being broken, did they?
Do they in this episode?
No, in this episode they do. He breaks their toes and all the stuff with the shoes, but do they show that in the dead bodies? They always mention the brain, but they never say, oh, their toes are broken. Unless they do, and I just missed it. I mean, it's possible.
I think with this episode, I think what they're going to do with Vogel, I think they're going to do the same thing they did with Isaac from season 7. Do you know how you were thinking Isaac was going to last up till like the last episode, but he kind of disappeared halfway through?
Right.
I think that plot point is going to disappear because Dexter, the show, has an amazing thing about making plot points vanish halfway through the season and going on to some whole new thing. Like in one of the seasons, I don't know if it was the Lumen season or whatever, the guy who burnt all the people on the bus, like they brought in this firebug character who was burning people alive out of nowhere to kind of...
Oh, yeah.
To bring in some kind of weirdo serial killer out of nowhere in the middle of the season. You're like, what the hell does this have to do with the season? Like, that was like, those was wrong with those episodes, but
Right.
I think they might deal with Vogel because it seems like the next episode, Vogel's going to be chopped up into pieces by this guy. And the fact that the serial killer is probably not that special, in a way. He's kind of like, you know what I mean? He's killing hookers, but he's also... Oh, not hookers, I'm sorry. He's killing women. And
yeah, Alex thinks all women are hookers.
Sorry, a bad ex-girlfriend. No, but also, like, he's also the guy who's forcing these people to kill these others. I mean, it's very strange that he's killing women but also doing this other stuff, unless he's kind of not the guy who's doing it.
I think that she created him.
Okay.
I do think that. I really do.
This new guy has a scar on the back of his head, reminiscent of how he's been opening people's brains open and scooping out the, you know, that particular piece of their brain.
Maybe he opens up that head thing again and then shoves their brains into his brain.
He has super empathy. Is that what it is? No, but
he becomes Krang. This is actually the prequel of Ninja Turtles.
He actually.
This is the Michael Bay version of how it happens.
He actually decapitates himself and puts.
They
his
did
head
have a
inside
car
of
jump off a bridge, so you know it is the Michael Bay version.
That's true. There was no explosions following it though, but I do like the setup that Dexter's kind of like fuck Deb now, because she's taking a little bit too much because he's like a robot, and she wanted to find out. She found out now that Harry had set this all up because she was watching those great 1980s videos that Vogel kept. I don't know why Vogel will keep these tapes. I guess to keep.
Imagine that at the end of the season it's revealed that Harry is actually Harry Houdini.
He got his wife to say the secret word, so she knew he was alive after.
And then he comes back from the dead.
And then he has a guy at the end of the season. He has a guy punch him in the kidney, and that's what kills him again. And anyway, what do you think were the best parts of this episode?
Well, I mean, I think it's not as good as last week's episode, but no, it's fucking great though. I mean, just like Deb as a character, she's like awesome. Now she's like kind of getting her shit together, and you get to see more insights into Dexter's past and everything with like the videos. And I'm trying to think of like major things that happen.
What do you think?
They go a lot on like the whole Quinn and his girlfriend and Angel.
Useless shit. Why do you think Quinn is so obsessed with helping? She's the one that got away from him, right? I was almost expecting the part where he reconciles with Deborah, because you can see like the way they were setting up. I really thought Deborah was going to die this episode. Just the way they were set up was very strange. Then I was like, they can't kill her like 4 episodes into this.
Well, she was gonna kill herself.
Yeah, she was. Because she found out that Harry couldn't live with himself and he killed himself.
That's why she was being so nice to Quinn.
Yeah, because then I was almost waiting to have that melodramatic bullshit where she would hug Quinn in the middle of the parking lot, and then you'd probably see like what's the girlfriend's name?
Hannah?
No, not her. His girlfriend, Quinn's girlfriend, Angel's sister.
Oh, I can't
Jamie.
even.
Like you see Jamie like walking into it and going, "Oh my god," and running off, and then Quinn once again going, "Oh, come on, babe," running after.
Yeah, I was kind of explaining it too. I really always love the idea of Full House moments though, where she'll see them hugging, and then he'll turn around. It's not what you think, and then she'll run to a bed and start crying, and Danny Tanner will come in and comfort her.
Then you'll hear the audience go, "Oh," like that in unison. I remember seeing one of the worst things I ever saw. I don't know what show it was. Maybe it was like, oh god, was it? The Hart Family, whatever the fucking show was called. But they were talking...
Step by step.
Not that one.
Day by day.
That was a show that got progressively meaner as the seasons went on. Like, they turned into Married with Children towards the end of the season for some reason. But I remember seeing one episode where they were talking shit about one character, and then he walked into frame, or everybody noticed that he was there, and he goes, "How long were we there?" "Long enough!" And he ran out the room, and then you hear the people in the audience gasp. It's pretty bad. So, I guess... Quinn passed the test to become a sergeant, but then he beats up these guys at Angel's restaurant/bar.
How does Angel manage a restaurant and being a sergeant?
Apparently, it must be easy. They didn't go into the storyline of who he hires and all that shit. So I don't know. Maybe he does it himself. Maybe he found the quantum physics to make 2 of them. So we're actually
maybe
seeing
it's like multiplicity.
Well, we see that's like a side section of the show that you don't know anything about.
They get it. That's revealed in the final episode, and then it shows all these flashbacks of Angel from the show. But then you realize the timelines don't make sense, and it all comes together.
It's written by
It's like Harry Potter when he has the time flipper thing or whatever.
There's a whole novel series about Angel being a time jumper. Nobody knows.
It turns into Quantum Leap.
It's the lowest rated books ever of all time, and he has his own. He has his own Dean Stockwell flying around floating and telling him shit to do. Sometimes Angel will become fucking Martin Luther King Jr. and shit. Anyway, so so stupid. So Quinn gets to become, I guess, sergeant. I guess they're setting that up. I think that's not going to happen. I don't know, because Showtime's talking about having the spin-off with characters from Dexter. You think it's going to be the police squad of finding out?
I don't know. I'm scared
Dexter?
that Angel's gonna die or something.
You think?
Or Queen will die. Some major character's going to die.
Is Angel captain right now? I forget who. I really don't know ranks of.
Angel is. I'm not sure about the protocols and everything, but I think he's lieutenant. He's like what LaGuerta was.
Okay, but LaGuerta. No, but LaGuerta Oh, wait a minute. So who's the father from...
Sorry, he's what Deb was. He's what
Right,
Deb was.
right, and the father from Unhappily
What
Ever...
LaGuerta used to be.
The father from Unhappily Ever After is what LaGuerta became, right? Because she got killed and he got her job.
I guess.
Whatever. Anyway, so what with Deborah, when she finds out at the end that the father killed himself, she was going to kind of go the same way the father. She was really offended that her father killed himself over this whole thing. It's so funny because...
maybe he killed himself over something unrelated, like... I don't know.
When he was getting sick with the chemotherapy, they had to reduce the size of his penis. He's like, I can't,
maybe, yeah, and
I can't go home like this. But what's funny is that he, somebody online was like, "Oh my God, my son's a monster. I'll just leave Deborah alone and kill myself." That's what somebody wrote. They're like, yeah, I guess you're right. It was kind of selfish. So that maybe kind of makes me think that Vogel had something to do with Harry's death because it was a little bit,
Yeah, maybe she didn't want him spilling the beans. Maybe he was gonna rat her out.
I was almost waiting for it to be really bad when Vogel leaves that camera on him and he goes, "I can't live with myself," and he runs off, and that the camera would just still keep recording, but then the camera would zoom back to Vogel, and then she would be having her fingers together, like posed evilly, and say something really bad.
Right.
To kind of incriminate herself. She goes, "You won't be living for long."
It's creation.
But are you satisfied that they got this one guy, the head chopper open brain guy there, or do you think he's a red
he's
herring?
like the least important part of it for me. I don't even care about him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect to be so overexcited over this guy because he's not really, when you're thinking it's Vogel and it's not, and you're like, nothing's gonna really live up to the idea of Vogel being this kind of evil super genius kind of character. I did like when Deborah tried to kill both of them, but obviously they're not gonna fucking kill Dexter.
Imagine they do though, and the whole show just goes on without either.
No, and then the rest of the series is Angel tending in his bar and going through.
Yeah, time. And going on adventures, like time warp adventures.
Him and Quinn's fucking assist. At least you get to see Jamie again naked. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like seeing her naked. Oh, and the scene. Oh, that was pretty cool actually with Vince with the daughter.
Yeah, his daughter is cute. That's what makes me feel like this is.
How creepy would that be though? If you're going up to meet your long lost dad and he's trying to hit on you and harass you.
I think she wanted it. No, I'm just kidding. But it felt like, didn't it feel like that was an introduction to another, if that was a setup point for another show with
Vince
him.
Yeah, you know what would be really cool if the chick from Teeth, Dawn, was the daughter. And then he's being all creepy, and then she just gets this evil little grin, and then you just it cuts away, and you just hear Vince screaming.
There's gonna be people listening to this episode that didn't listen to the Teeth one because they never watched that movie, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Well, it's okay. Watch Teeth.
Yeah, go see it. But it feels like that's a setup for when they have their own kind of Miami-Dade, series.
Right.
And Masuka has his own daughter and stuff, and she's really cute. She's adorable, but not in the way I fuck her brains out. She was a really adorable girl. And Masuka's cool. He's good all the time.
You know who would fuck her brains out is the serial killer.
But I'm sure Quinn will fuck her before the season's over. Why do you think they introduced her? I felt a little weird that Jamie got to... I almost was thinking, because the serial killer finds...
I think they introduced her, honestly, because... they can't just show Deb being depressed for a full episode over and over.
Yeah, I guess it is the last season, so they kind of want to give Vince something to deal with, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of... he's used for comical reasons. I did like the episodes where he became...
He's one of my favorites.
I like the episodes where he became an asshole, because everybody hurt his feelings. So he became a dick to everybody. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, I think that's the main reason why she's there. But, I felt a little bit nervous when they had Jamie borrow Dexter's car, because I thought since the serial killer saw Dexter leave, he would probably find the car and try to kill whoever's in it. I don't know, but I guess that didn't really pan out. It was just, and then they have that new lady who's there, who kind of flirts with Dexter.
Oh, what the hell is her name?
Some broad, who knows? But she's there, and I'm like, who the fuck is she? And I almost feel like if she's gonna be there, fucking Dexter, and I bet you Hannah's gonna walk in. That's what I think's gonna happen.
Okay.
And then he's gonna give her some big penis. I don't know. He'll fuck both of them.
Her name was... God, what? I don't know why it's bothering me. Whatever. And then we find out about an invisible elephant named Dan. He's got my name. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. So what do you think's gonna happen after this fallout with Deborah trying to kill him? You can tell by the next episode that Vogel is fucked. She gets kidnapped. She's gonna be sent back in pieces. I think her days are numbered on the show. See.
I hope kind of that Dexter doesn't even save her. And as for, but I don't think she's gonna die because, she's like the mastermind. We have to find out what the deal is with her.
Yeah, I think she killed Harry in a way. So we'll see.
Yeah, we can't unless they show it all through like fucking videos and journal entries.
And it seems like Dexter's done with Deborah's shit because all this time he's been fighting for her. It seems like she was the only link to humanity he had besides what the hell was her name, Rita. And I think now that he's kind of given up on her, now he's going to be like a fucking robot. So it's kind of like the same thing when he lost his belief in religion. You know what I mean? Like he almost was leaning towards it, and then he was like, "Fuck this," So I think that's what's going to happen. It seems like they're kind of broken, and I think there'll be some reprieve, and they'll forgive each other in a way. But something's got to give with that group, right?
Yeah, I think that what I kind of am thinking now is maybe the last episode, Deb and Dexter will kill themselves together or something.
Yeah, with a big double-headed dildo.
Mm-hmm.
That's for horror.
Hey, that's my line. I'm the one that talks about double-headed dildos.
And you just did. So, Danny, what rating would you give this episode?
I'm gonna give this episode like an 8 out of 10. Being all smiley and nice, and then flipping out and driving a car off a bridge.
Like any girlfriend. I also will give this an 8 out of 10.
He's copped my rating.
What did I say?
8.
Yes. 8 out of 10 having painful sex with somebody who's very injured. So, Danny, what's the final word?
A good Samaritan.
What was that? Did you bomb in your pants?
What is that?
I don't know. Oh,
what?
It sounded like the Steve song fucked up. Hold on.
What's it doing?
I don't know.
Are you doing that on
I
purpose?
swear to you, I'm not. It sounds like somebody's saying like hard deconstruction, but then there's like a huge curse word in the middle and they can't play it. Let me see if this version works.
Just keep going.
What the fuck was that? Oh wait.
Is it recording?
Okay, there we go.
There, now it worked.
I think the original one was saying racial epithets and it cut itself out. Anyway, so Hardy Construction, it's Big Harbor Bitching, it's Dexter, Season 8, Episode 5, with your host, Alex and
Enrique Morales.
And today's episode of Dexter's called
This Little Piggy
This Little Piggy Stars Dexter as
Went to the
Dexter.
market.
Anyway, obviously it's, who's that guy who plays Dexter?
Michael C. Hall.
Michael Seaman Hall, yes. It was so funny. I got bitten by a bunch of mosquitoes this past week, and with my hypochondria, I thought I was going to get West Nile virus. And then I thought, what if that's how Dexter dies in this show?
From West Nile virus?
Every morning he's bitten by a mosquito in the episode. So what if
that's true.
Imagine that's how he dies. That's like the best.
You know what? Really. Like, that in a way would be a satisfying ending.
Imagine that the episode starts out with with him bitten, and then he just never wakes up, and that goes right to credits, and that's how.
Or it just shows like there's a whole episode like him in the hospital like dying, and he's like on his like computer trying to like track killers, but he's just like too weak to do it, and then he just dies.
He gets so lazy that he just hangs the pictures of the photo like the victims over his bed, and he asks them to lay on a plastic table because he's too bedridden to do it.
Right,
anyway.
And then he like wheels up to them in a wheelchair and like, has his nurse help him stab him.
So this episode, what happens in this episode, Danny? Because I kind of forgot what happened.
Well, this is directly after Deb tries to kill him in a car crash, basically like Cameron Diaz style in Vanilla Sky.
Yes, and Michael C. Hall's face is already as puffed up as Tom Cruise's face in that movie, so.
Mm-hmm. Pretty soon he's gonna be jumping up and down on a couch
and making out with Paz. What was her name? Patricia Velasquez. No, Patricia Velasquez was the girl from The Mummy Part 2. Who the hell was the girl?
Cruz.
Oh yeah, something Cruz, right?
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Who cares? She's no
Incestual.
She's in good Spanish movies.
She's his Spanish twin.
So, I was gonna say Tom Cruise.
Okay, so it starts out actually
Family
a therapy
meeting.
session, I believe, right?
Yes, between Dexter, Deb, and Dr. Vogel.
Yeah. And
what'd you think
Dexter
about
is
that
very
episode?
angry. I was thinking it was going to be what you were saying. Dexter's like had it with her, but they're good now.
Yeah, they can't. They took care of that. I guess we're really not good at predicting what's going on in this show, right? I thought Vogel was going to die this episode. I thought
Vogel's evil. I still think she's evil, but I don't think she's as evil. I don't think she is the one that was, making it all happen. But what I do think is that she probably created a lot more Dexter type of people, and I think that she might have had something to do with Harry's death.
I still have some hope. Well, not hope, but I still have an inkling that she is the one that killed Harry, and
or like maybe she had one of her creations, like who knows who of all her patients, kill Harry so he wouldn't spill the beans about her or something,
Right. Okay. So. That's interesting that they start out the first half of the episode with Dexter, pissed off at Deb, and she's still kind of on this plane of now she realizes she can't live without him because that's her brother, and Vogel's navigating this, I guess, to her benefit so that they kind of get along. Vogel doesn't seem evil in this episode, so
yeah, not at all.
I felt bad because what the sequence where she's getting terrified by that guy. It's like you could tell it's between a good actor and a not so good actor.
Right.
He's like, she's like, please don't hurt me. And he's like, you're making me crazy. He's like, just that kind of really like you could just tell the difference between their acting, and you're like, oh boy.
Yeah, and that's weird because it's like the final season. You'd think that they would find the best actor possible or something.
Like Lou Gossett Jr. or somebody.
Like at this point, they're like, fuck it.
You get like a Danny Glover.
Like he does a bad job, and the director's like, I don't feel like reshooting it. Fuck it.
Yeah, right. These were like the test shots, and he had no time to reshoot them and shit.
Right.
It was supposed to be fucking Laurence Olivier is dead. Anyway, so Dexter and Deb, they got that whole little squabble going on. The subplot with
the Hamiltons.
Yes.
The rich
woman
guy.
The Spanish worker who was murdered, or Hispanic lady that was murdered, who was, I guess, working for this rich guy called Hamilton, and now his son is seemingly the killer of the...
Yeah. And he looks like someone. I don't know where I know him from, but he looks like someone.
Like who? Like Tom Cruise or bringing it back?
I don't know. I just think I know him from something, but I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
What do you think about the subplot of Angel choosing Quinn over that other? I still don't know what that lady's name is.
I think her name's like Miller or something.
Okay, Miller, and because they're really trying to make it seem she's important, but I don't really know who the fuck she is, honestly.
I mean, well, in the previews for the next episode, he doesn't choose Quinn. It said.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I think I saw that, but then again, that could just be misleading us. Maybe he does. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it's misleading because then you see Quinn going, "Hey Dexter, I know what you're doing." He's just gonna say, just like somebody online said, "Thanks for watching out for that kid on me." And that's it.
I do have a new possible theory, that Angel's gonna find out that Dexter killed LaGuerta basically or whatever, and kill Dexter or get him in trouble or something. I don't know.
Why do you say that?
Because when Dexter smashed the thing that LaGuerta left, that he gave of LaGuerta's, or his son smashed it. You're
still holding on to that, right?
I'm still holding on to that, yeah.
Well, how's he going to find it? He's going to go in there and find the dust particles? He probably threw it out already.
Yeah, but he's not going to see it. I don't know. I just feel like something will happen with that, maybe. And also, they mentioned Hannah for the first time.
Oh, right, because of the new girlfriend. I knew that. I'm telling you, something's going to go on with that new girl with Dexter, and then Hannah's going to kill her or something like that. That's what I feel is going to happen.
Right.
What's
up? The new girl is hot. Dexter has no sex drive.
I guess so. Maybe his dark passenger is trying to turn him homosexual or something. Who knows?
Maybe. But then why isn't he after Vince? I mean, Vince is hot.
What about Vince's daughter, that subplot with her maybe needing something? And I don't think she needs anything, but it's very...
Well, she's eating all the food and stuff. I don't do that.
It seems very... it's like recycling the plot with the young intern, the blonde girl that stole a hand.
Right.
From the previous, I think the 5th season or something like that? Oh, the 6th season?
6th season.
And,
no, Isaac's season. Whatever Isaac's season was.
No, I think she stole the hand before that season. Yeah, she stole the hand before that season because she was in it for like a couple episodes. Remember, the hand went to the nerd in the following season with Isaac, and then he got killed.
Oh, okay, whatever. But anyway, yeah, the daughter. I don't know. I like that they're giving Vince something now, but I don't think it's gonna really go anywhere. Really.
Yeah, I think it's just
It's just more like, okay, let's give Vince like one thing to do.
So Vogel being almost killed by this dude. I still don't think he's the guy. He's the
Brain surgeon? No, he is though.
I read something bad. You want to cover your ears, Danny?
No, don't say it.
I don't know if it's real though.
Don't say it anyway.
But the way they're setting it up for the next episode, this guy kind of got it on point where they're trying to set up that kid Hamilton's son to be the next Dexter.
Right.
And somebody online said, yeah.
Well, that was in the previews.
Right. So I guess somebody wrote this before they saw the previews. They were like, tonight you'll meet Dexter's protege, and I was like, uh-oh. So I just stopped reading. I did read something else about who the actual killer is.
There's going to be like a spin-off,
and
it's going to just be that kid, and Dexter like will make a little cameo. It'll be like Batman Beyond, but with Dexter.
Chexter. But apparently they from what I read of who the killer's supposed to be, has not even appeared on the show yet. So.
Really?
Yeah.
But this guy took brains.
No, he just killed hookers. Oh, I mean women. Why do I keep saying they're hookers? Sorry, it's misogyny.
We said this in the last episode too. Alex thinks all women are hookers.
Oh, jeez. So anyway, the strengths of this episode. Misandry! Go ahead.
I don't know. I didn't like this episode that much.
Yeah, I think it was kind of middle. What do you think is up with Deborah's boss and kicking that guy's ass? Is that supposed to be like a guy he's had a problem with before, you think? Because he kind of just beats that
What, in
guy's
the
ass.
preview or whatever?
Yeah. Because it seems like that guy's...
I didn't even see that was her boss. I just saw someone get punched really quick. I didn't get it.
Her boss punching out a guy who was trying to take her out on a date. And I was waiting for them to give that actor, something to do, because he seems like he's just there and giving.
Well, he fantasizes about fingering Deb's sweet puss like all day.
He's
24/7.
He's just giving her energy drinks filled with his dried semen. It's like that's all he does.
He always puts a little squirt in each one.
I swear, like he shook up an energy drink for her, and then he did it in another episode. And I was like, did they just fucking use the same footage of him shaking the drink? Like it made no sense. Like. It almost
got
looks
his
like,
routines down.
Her. Yeah. So
put a squirt of semen. That's the big breakthrough, actually. That's going to be like one of the last shots. Is you'll see all the footage of him shaking it, and then it will show like 2 minutes earlier he's in the bathroom whacking it.
And you know how they'll have like
it's in black and white, like grainy footage.
And final episodes they'll have a recap of a character's whole like series. Like they'll show Dexter throughout the whole like years. Instead they'll just show him for the last 5 minutes.
Right,
and his
jerking off. And then they'll show Angel, like, teleporting with his time travel ability.
Yeah, and then, like, somebody taking a shit on LaGuardia's bench and stuff like that.
Oh, one thing I thought would be really cool would be if Dexter, like, in the last episode or something, Dexter has, like, a vision, and they have every single person he's ever killed on the show.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Like, like, almost like if he's in court, like, it could be like a kind of corny thing,
like
but just
Seinfeld?
have, like, them all in the audience of the courtroom, like, all of them, though, like the guy with the bullhorns, all that kind of shit. It'd be really cool.
He's in hell with the bullhorns. You know, I think would be even better? Like, imagine if LaGuardia's bench was actually made out of LaGuardia, like her bones and stuff. And then Dexter like saves the day at the end, and he goes and he puts his hand behind his head and he sits on it, and then the bench takes him into hell. Like it grabs him.
It's like the scene in Ghost with those shadow demons.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Drag Me to Hell with Dexter.
Patrick Swayze comes up, but it's like post-cancer Patrick Swayze.
Jesus Christ. And then he jumps off of a stage in slow motion and starts dancing with his knees up and snapping his fingers. Imagine at the final episode of Dexter, like you see him land on a mosquito's arm, and the mosquito smashes him, and that's how it like goes to credits after that.
And then you see an orange, and the orange kills him with a knife, or like stings him.
It's just reversed. And then the house is walking out of him at the end and smiles at the camera and stuff. Anyway, but so not right on Vogel in this episode getting killed, almost getting her feet smashed. But it was pretty cheap how she kind of slapped him. This was kind of a weak.
Well, I guess it helps to be a psychiatrist.
Yeah, it was a good weak episode.
it was a little anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And also, it basically, I mean, Dexter does this sometimes, but it basically ends the season.
Halfway.
It's like, okay, so everything's wrapped up. So the serial killer's gone. Everything's good with Dr. Vogel. Deb's all happy now, and what the hell's going to happen? But then they mention Hannah, like, very briefly. It's like, okay, that's, like, the next chapter.
That's what Dexter does. It kind of has 2 seasons in one season. Like, two
But I feel like this one is really doing it. Like, it started off episode 1. It's, like, the most intense thing. Like, they never do that from the first episode.
Right.
And, like, they've basically fit a whole season in just the last few episodes, and then this one kind of, like, concluded it.
And the way that the show is going, it kind of... Like, if you were to look at Dexter, if it was an episode-by-episode kind of thing, if it was like CSI, you can kind of see that's how the show would be, because it kind of seems like they drag out shit. But I guess, they're just cleaning up plots as slowly as they can. So I think them already fixing up Dexter and Deborah's relationship, I guess, since they don't have any more time left, they have, how many episodes left? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9...
I don't know, like,
episodes
this
left?
is episode 5, and there's 13, right?
Yeah, so about 8 more episodes left, I would assume. So
that would be 13 minus 5 is 8.
Is that? Oh man, I gotta go to college again. So anyway, but yeah, I think it was a weak episode, but still a good episode. I think I got.
Do you think they'll get back into Quinn suspecting Dexter? Like that was like a whole thing at one point, in like season 4 or something.
That's what it's leading the next trailer to be. You know what I mean? It seems like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's gonna be tracking him, and then, of course, as soon as Deborah came in and said she killed LaGuerta, Quinn was already filling her mouth up with, oh yeah, like, you feel guilty. No, she's telling me she killed her, so let her actually talk about it, idiot. Anyway, whatever. Remember, Vogel has that paper, unless she got rid of it. Vogel's gonna do something, I know it. She's gonna do something with that information. Like, what are the reasons would she write this shit down?
It's to publish a book.
Right, but I mean...
But if she publishes the book and Quinn recognizes things from the book, or something, you know?
Yeah, she would incriminate herself, though, I guess. Or maybe not, I don't know. She still has the tapes of Harry.
Right.
I don't know, she's a weirdo character. Anyway, what's your rating on this episode?
I'm gonna give it like a 7. 7 out of 10. Breaking Dr. Vogel's sweet, sweet, sexy feet.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Vince Masuka buying extra, I don't know, nachos and shit for his daughter, chips for his cheap-ass daughter.
Okay.
So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Ditches.
Today's episode, what? With Alex and Danny?
Liza Minnelli's butt?
Today's episode of Dexter is...
A little reflection?
I feel bad because I totally fucked up the whole...
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing
OCD.
Here. We doing it again?
Yes.
The Horror Deconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the Horror Deconstruction with your host, Alex and... What?
No, Liza Minnelli's butt.
Hold on.
You're supposed to say all your shit about Facebook and Tumblr and stuff. Oh my god.
Deconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehardyconstruction with your host, Alex and...
I don't want to say Liza Minnelli's butt again.
But you did. And today's show is...
Bay Harbor Bitching?
Yes.
And this is our review of A Little Reflection, Season 8, Episode 6 of Dexter. Is that good?
Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you. Yes,
Okay.
It's Bay Harbor Bitching. Today's episode of Dexter is called A Little What?
A Little Reflection.
And it is episode 6 or 5? 6?
6! I just said it!
Who's listening to you? Of Dexter, starring Michael C. Hall, Jennifer Carpenter, some Asian guy, a Hispanic dude, a skinny
Desmond
white
Harrington.
guy. Desmond who?
He's Quinn.
Okay, very good. Oh, right. The guy that fucked the mannequin.
Yes.
So, what is the basic setup of this episode, Daniel? Or, I mean, Liza Minnelli's well.
Well, this episode is kind of like a Zach Hamilton episode. He's the son of the guy, that rich family that they found a dead body recently, and Dexter thinks that he's the killer and is investigating it.
Or I'd like to call it a yawn Hamilton episode, because I was yawning right through it. No,
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was about the same as the last episode, kind of
I think it's a little bit better.
filling in the plot for the setup, I guess, for the next. How many episodes are left? What was it? 6, 7, 8, 9, 7 episodes
There's
left?
like 13 episodes, right?
So about 7 more episodes left.
6 plus 7 is 13.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Finally, my math has showed. So, this episode, the setup of the episode is why did I not record this episode? Because I'm trying to watch it as I'm talking about it. So I can remember. You set up what happened.
Well, actually, there's 12 episodes in the season, so 6 more episodes. We're halfway through. Well, basically, it's Dexter's following around Zach, and he keeps finding him at crime scenes, taking pictures and shit. And then there's like this little thing with Vince and his daughter, and what's his face? Angel gives the promotion to Miller, but I don't think that's going to stick, actually.
Why not?
I feel like he's going to change it.
So they can have the spin-off, or what?
No, just because I'm not even thinking about spin. I'm just thinking he's going to change it. Cause
No, I think Quinn is going to fuck himself because he's out of spite.
is his penis that big?
Out of spite, he's going to look after this kid. I think Quinn's going to... You think Quinn's going to get killed, or Quinn's going to be set up for the new series?
Well, Quinn's going to maybe... Oh, you just gave me an idea. Maybe Quinn will find Dexter and him together and
Blowing each other.
get on to Dexter again.
That's true. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss of where this is going to go.
Well, Hannah's back, and I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, I knew she was going to come back. And I'm telling you, from the trailer, I told you that fucking that neighbor girl that they're trying to set up with Dexter, she's gonna
Cassie?
die. Who?
Cassie is her name.
Yeah, she kind of has like the face of a woman that sings folk music or something like that. Seems nice. You saw that she denied Dexter. She didn't want any more D from Dexter because he's kind of a fucking nerd. It's funny because I was watching him in that date with her, and I was like, oh my god, I've been that guy on a date before. Oh,
Yeah.
what a disgrace. Have you ever been like that on a date? I know I have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I dated this girl. I went on a couple dates with this girl who was like an 11. You know what I mean? Out of 10.
Right.
And plus she was like this Japanese chick from Hawaii. I mean, she was probably the fucking hottest girl I ever dated. And I was just like, first of all, there's like language barrier, and second of all, I have Asperger's probably. And I was just there going, just like him, like the beach, stuff like that, the way he's talking. But I felt kind of bad that he couldn't get with her, even though I wasn't really interested in her.
He doesn't want to get with her anyway. He's just doing it because he's being nagged to.
Right, don't use that. That's racist. But he decided to not really be into her, so when she showed up with this other kind of clean-cut guy at the party, I think he understood that it wasn't going to go anywhere with her. But they're obviously setting up, from the trailer of the next episode, for her to get killed by Zach Morris. What's his name?
Hamilton.
Zach Hamilton.
He's Zach Morris.
Imagine that. He comes out and he comes with his band with Slater and
you
Lisa
see like
Turtle.
Mario Lopez in the background jerking off.
The band.
And then Screech is just like rapidly fingering his asshole and screeching like a vulture.
You know what happened? Was Screech released a porn film?
Yeah, that
And-
guy's a douche.
and
I watched like an
he's-
episode of I think it was like Celebrity Weight Loss or one of those stupid shows.
Oh, is that the one where the coach was gonna kick his ass? That
He
the
was on.
best.
I don't know about that, but he was just I watched one episode of it. It was like one of those celebrity weight loss things, and he was just such an asshole.
I think what it is, he's in the same league as the kid from Star Wars Episode 1. Kind of like he's pissed
Right.
off that he couldn't be taken any more seriously.
But the kid from Star Wars ruined the Star Wars universe. Screech was awesome.
George Lucas ruined the Star Wars episode.
Yeah, no, I
All
know,
that
but
shit.
the kid, unfortunately, was the face of that ruination.
Good, do your
Screech,
impersonation.
is ruination a word? But Screech was actually awesome.
Wait, do your Episode 1 thing that you always do.
But yippee!
That's pod racing! There you go. So we both got him. So, that Screech is an asshole. He made a porn where he did a Dirty Sanchez. Like, he put his finger up a girl's ass and then smeared the shit on her nose to look like a mustache. That's what a Dirty Sanchez is. How do we get onto Screech? Oh, right, because of the Zach Morris. So Zach
Right.
Morris is one around. Zach Morris went to go kill his dad because he was going to kill how the father was killing the mother in a sense because she drinks herself. Is that
He's
really the
a
father's
melodramatic.
problem? No, not really. I don't think so. He's a poon hound. Although is the father still married to the mother? I don't know.
Yeah, he's married to the mother, but
Oh.
he's a douche.
They didn't really show her. You know what I mean? For him to say this out of nowhere kind of seems weird. If she was in the show or something, and you see her drinking Maybe that would be too much.
I don't remember if they showed her at all,
I don't
but
think
either
they
way,
showed
it
her
doesn't
at all.
matter. I mean, it's just his backstory, and now he's spared. He wasn't murdered.
I just hate when Dexter says, like, when Dexter's arguing with Vogel, he goes, "I'll never kill anybody innocent." You know, he's like, he's at least killed 3 people that were innocent by his
Yeah, but
code.
we've discussed it. He does it in self-defense or in, like, the heat of a moment. He doesn't, like, plan and kill.
He killed that one guy who was the photographer because the photographer was taking photos of gore scenes, and he assumed that he was the killer, but he wasn't. He was just a photographer. And he killed him on the table, and then he really didn't say anything else about it. But he's like, "Oh, don't kill innocent people." I'm like, yeah, you do, but I think nobody else knows about it, so I guess they can't really
Well,
say
he
shit
tries
about
not to kill innocent people. How's that?
it. That's still kind of shitty, in a way. He's supposed to be like the
And
Punisher.
the other people weren't so innocent. He killed that Potfield guy, but that guy was, like, threatening him and stuff.
Remember the guy who argued with him in the bathroom and he beat him to death with a piece of steel?
Yeah, but the guy was a jerk.
Okay, fair enough. If that was a litmus test, I think you or I still wouldn't be around there, believe me. So yeah, the whole point of Zach being Dexter's protege, like that guy had predicted. Remember the spoiler thing I was talking about? So now we're gonna see
Yeah, don't say any more
my
of the
theory
spoiler.
of who the killer is for real. With Vogler's guy still alive, the bad guy. Yeah. Well, what do you think were the strong parts of this episode?
I like that they got, like, Dexter's got, like, a whole new protege thing. That's pretty cool, because they've never had... They kind of had that, but not really.
But that was like but he tried to do that in the first season.
No, I did it in the 3rd season with what's-his-face, Jimmy Smith.
Remember the young boy that killed another kid, and Dexter was like letting him live? Remember, it's the same premise. There was like a young kid in the
Well, he
first
was, like,
season.
bullied and shit. And then they...
And
Yeah,
the
but he
kid-
never, like, took him on officially.
Oh, that shit made me sick, though, because the kid killed himself by jabbing his throat onto a piece of metal. And that always just gave me the willies.
It would have been better if he jabbed it in a piece of plastic or something.
Ugh. Anyway, oof. But anyway, I like Sean Patrick Flannery's character now. The guy who was the...
Oh, the boss?
Yeah, he seems like an alright guy. I mean, for some reason they set it up like he's a psychopath, but not really. I hope not.
His hair is silly. They gotta do something about his hair.
It seems like, you know what it looks like? He looks like one of those, I'm trying to think, oh no, it's not even something anybody would know, but he just kind of looks like he sits there and they put that hair on his head like a helmet.
Right.
A robot helmet, but he's Deb's boss at that private investigation firm, and he sets up his sister's boyfriend to get caught.
You know what? I'm just, like, randomly on IMDb looking at that Sean Patrick, and he was in
Boondock
a movie with the guy from Walking Dead, the
Boondock
Bow and Arrow
Saints.
guy whose name I can't think of.
It's a really big underground kind of movie.
Arrow.
That the director of that film was like a nut job because he made like one underground film and had Willem Dafoe in it, and a lot of people liked it. The sequel didn't make any more money than the original one, but apparently when he tried to make the sequel the first time around, he was all this demanding and he was like a crazy director, and people were like, "Who the fuck are you? You just made like one indie movie that's sort of a hit." And I don't know how people have these.
What if they called it Booncock Saints?
The Bukkake Saints? How about that one?
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that guy's. They're setting it up that he has a crush on Deb, which I think is going to be ill-fated. So we'll see how that goes. I almost hope, like, you're looking at some of the characters in the show, and I wonder if, like, you're trying to see if they're actually going to do the spin-off, because usually people say spin-off so they don't have to worry about characters dying. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're doing with Breaking Bad. Do you watch Breaking Bad at all or no?
It's one of those shows on my list.
Yeah, you should watch it. But there's like this one character in Breaking Bad. Like, oh yeah, we're looking into doing a spin-off with him, but we don't know if it's gonna be a prequel or after the show. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Just don't talk about it, because then you know who's gonna be in this. Like if I were to have a setup for a spin-off, I would have Quinn. I would have that Sean.
You know what would be a great spin-off? If they did a show about Dexter and like how he kills people.
That'd be good. That actually pretty good. Like it's
the same exact show.
The whole point of this show of Dexter was not actually about Dexter. It was about Angel's rise as a cop to a bar owner. So the actual spin-off of Dexter is actually Dexter.
It's adventures in his bar, as he's also the time traveler, where he said, right?
So the actual spin-off of Dexter is...
Each episode is like Cheers, basically, in his bar.
Every time there's like a Frasier character, that'll be like.
And then like Kelsey Grammer comes on and like he's walking around the bar and falls off and he's just like on the ground in
I
pain.
watched that video so many times this week. That was the greatest thing ever. Because I was an interpreter for these small. Oh, dear God, or whatever he says, dear Lord. What an asshole! That was like the greatest video.
I felt bad for him.
I like he goes oof, like after he falls.
Right.
Anyway, I can talk about that video for hours. So yeah, Masuka pisses off his daughter, even though she got a little bit too fucking high and mighty. You know what I mean? It's like he's trying to help her out, and she got a little bit, like it was hard for me to look for you. He said, "Shut up." Just take fucking $5,000, you know?
Yeah, I would take the $5,000.
She got all pissed off because...
But he was being a little bit douchey about it.
Because, people in real life...
You know what it is? Anytime money is involved in anything, people get weird.
That's true. And in film, characters don't know how to fucking speak or know how to hide their bullshit because they have to... You know what I mean? I guess it would be hard for people to watch characters act like they do in real life. Like, the only show that I think where characters acted... like real people do is like The Wire. Like people would say things although they were hiding something from somebody else. You know what I mean? Like they were talking like Vince basically telegraphed what he was saying to his daughter. He's saying, "I don't trust you. I thought you were a bullshit artist, but here's some money because now you checked out." Like why would you tell somebody that you look through their past? I guess maybe he's trying to be honest about it. I guess it fits his character.
He's not used to situations where he has to be like sensitive and nice and things like that.
And the daughter looks like about 1/45th Asian, right? You think so?
Yeah.
Because I looked her up. She looks Hispanic. She's still cute. She's an adorable girl. And Angel's sister, Jamie, is all pissed off because Angel didn't give
Quinn the lieutenant, or is that lieutenant, right?
I guess sergeant. I thought it was pretty stupid of Zach to take photos of the dead girl, and then you see his really bad reflection Photoshop.
That's what the name of the episode's based on, I think.
Oh, right, yeah, wow. You're good.
Yeah.
I was actually just hoping that Dexter killed Zach. That's all I was hoping, and it didn't happen.
I'm glad he didn't, because you know what? Every time, I always, I mean, it's a TV show, so fine, but like, when he kills these people that are always cropping up in the middle of things, eventually it's going to get linked to him. Like, they're going to be like, oh yeah, every person we've ever investigated dies.
Yeah, so I think when Joey finds out what's going on, I think he's going to kind of get himself into some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, what else happened in this episode?
Then again, he could very easily, oh my god, he could use that to become Sergeant.
That's true.
Bringing down Dexter. No, but I have a feeling that if he found out officially, he wouldn't even pursue it.
Well, what about the captain? What's his name? Captain Harris?
Yeah, because he loves Deb, so he wouldn't pursue it.
That's true. Captain Harris is a fucking twat. He's just trying to keep Quinn from being sergeant, and he's also...
He wants equal opportunity, like, to look like he's sympathetic to women and black people, so that's the only reason he wants Miller, like, basically is what he said.
Yeah, to kind of appease those Action Now people. And he's just appeased. Like, he told Dexter all that shit. Like, if he didn't say anything to Dexter, LaGuerta would still be alive. You know what I mean? Kind of that kind of shit. Like, for him to tell, but I think that's because him being friends with Harry. It seems like him and Harry were the only like people he could be friends with. He hasn't been a friend to anybody else in the show.
Yeah.
And I only like him because he was from Unhappily Ever After.
You got a friend in me. He sang that to Harry.
Who the fuck was that? Danzig?
No, that's Randy Newman or something.
He sounds like Danzig. He's like, you got fruit. Well, I can't do his voice either. In Family Guy, they did a funny version of him. But Deb's interaction with Dexter in this episode pretty good, I thought. They were pretty chummy.
Are they like hinting that Deb is still in love with Dexter? Because they showed a little picture of them together really quick.
I think they're out of it. I think they're just trying to get the wheels back in motion of their relationship. It's got to be fucking strange that your sister wants to bang you even though she's adopted.
Yeah, and also that your brother is like a fucking soulless serial killer.
Yeah, well, there's no reality on this show anyway, but Zach is hunting down this one girl he's going to try to kill her. Well, what are your predictions for the next episode? Because we've been wrong for everything else.
Now that
I know who the killer, now that I know who the brain killer is, because I ruined it. What else is gonna go on? You think?
Well, I think that Hannah's back, but then from the previews, it was like showing that she didn't kill.
She got married to a guy within 6 months of her leaving the jail.
No, I mean when she first came back at the end of the episode, I'm
Right.
thinking, oh my god, she's gonna like tie them up or something. But then it shows in the next episode like they're talking with her like normal and stuff. So it's like, what was the point?
It seems like they're just gonna
She made a dramatic entrance
It seems
instead of
like
like
they're
riding
just-
in on a motorcycle. She poisoned them.
It seems like they're setting her up just to get killed, I think. But, like the show, I think he's going to probably let her go and let her kill that guy and get away
I think
with
he's
it.
going to end up back with her because from the previews, it kind of seemed that way based on what Deb was saying.
I think Hannah should have been a character that's been around since the last 4 seasons ago. You know what I mean? But,
I like her, and she's hot.
Yeah, she's definitely very cute. She's
Dexter
Australian.
gets hot chicks. Maybe Miami's full of hot chicks.
She's Australian in real life. She's pretty hot. She was on some show I never saw called Chuck. So
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. It's about the spy, right?
yeah, I had no idea she was on the show, and of course they wouldn't show her naked on Dexter. Of course not. But ultimately, what do you think Dexter's gonna do?
What in the next?
I was wrong because I
episode?
thought Hannah was gonna kill his new girlfriend, but
I think
it looks
that-
like from the trailer Zach's
I'm
gonna do it.
predicting based on what I have to go with that him and Hannah are going to work it out and date again.
It sort of looks like they're setting him up to put her on the kill table, but I think he's way too much into her still to even think of that. So I mean, I've been wrong. We've been wrong about 80% of the time on this show. So I'm still,
Also, Quinn's going to find out that Dexter made up a lie and said to send him home. Remember, she called Jamie and was like, "Oh, Quinn
no,
thinks
but he didn't really necessarily lie, though.
he did."
No, because what he said was true. He said that Quinn was bitching about
Quinn
her
never said
breaking
he
up
thought
with him.
that she was going to break up with him.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
Yes, he did. He did that early in the episode.
Oh, okay.
He said, he's like, oh, she's gonna fucking break up with me. That's what he said. So that's why I don't necessarily consider it a lie. He's probably just looking out for him. That's all.
Right,
I'm sure he
okay.
will find it strange that, coincidental. And that, imagine Zach's head was in Dexter's crotch when.
Well, because then if he
Quinn
killed
saw-
Zach after that, then it's like really.
Right, yeah, it's real obvious. So,
So I'm glad he didn't.
but then nobody ever finds Zach. So, that's how. But then again, that's what happened with the guy he had to tail on Dexter before. But they found his body.
Right.
I don't know. It's very weird.
Dexter should start eating the bodies because then they really wouldn't get found.
He's just walking around with a big penis in his mouth.
He goes scuba diving, gets all the bodies, and eats them all.
It's all like algae filled and shit. There's a blowfish stuck in the
Well,
roach.
algae's supposedly really good for you. It's got health properties.
Oh my god. Anyway, what's your rating on this episode?
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Telling your daughter who found you after like 20 years that you think she's a money-grubbing asshole and that you don't trust her and investigate her like she's a criminal.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10. About to read a story time book about a monkey and then admonishing your child for lying to you about breaking a fucking remote control. I wish he yelled at him though every episode. Remember when he broke that fucking thing that you think is gonna get him in trouble with Angel?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He's
Harrison!
like, Harrison!
He should do it. They should just use that same audio though before he says any line.
Right.
Like it's that same clip even though it's out of context. He's like, Harrison, why'd you lie to me about the remote control? I thought it was a blaster. This is racing. All right. So with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Ba-ba-boo-bop-ba-dee-ba-boo.
And it's Alex and Danny again. And what is today's episode of Dexter?
It is dress code. What is this, episode 7?
Yes, episode
Or 8,
7.
maybe? I don't know.
Season 8, I think it is 7.
Season 8, yeah.
Danny, what happens in this episode?
It's...
That's great!
The total change of pace, I would say.
What do you mean?
Well, every episode previous this is like, shit, something's happening. And then this one's totally like,
This one's like
it's a new chapter. It's just kind of like, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like it finally got into like a calmer, like, Dexter mid-season feeling.
Was that Julian Sands, a.k.a. the Warlock, or am I wrong?
Where? What? Who?
Playing Max, whatever his face was, the millionaire husband of Hannah.
You know what? He seemed a little familiar. My friend was convinced that he knew who he was. I couldn't place him.
Are you on the IMDb page for it?
No, I'm no. I'm not.
You scumbag.
Yeah. I am a scumbag.
Well, anyway, he looked. I thought he was the warlock, but thanks to Danny not knowing anything, I guess maybe.
Yeah, I don't know nothing. Okay, I don't know nothing.
So what happens in this episode, Danny?
Well, it left us off with Hannah drugging them.
Okay.
And to me, I thought it was pretty funny because then they're like totally fine. And it's like that's like her grand entrance. Like, you know, some people like parachute in or like bash open a door and scream, "I'm here." Hers is to poison people.
Yeah, and she leaves Dexter out in the middle of the road, or is it the beach or something? Whatever. She leaves him out somewhere, but she leaves Deborah back home. It's kind of her message saying, "I'm here. I'm queer.
Yeah.
Get used to it."
Mm-hmm.
Or not the queer or used to it part. But anyway, she.
You better get used to it.
Dexter is trying to get back on a trail, and Vogel finds out. Well, he tells Vogel. Vogel's like, "I don't think this is cool," you know, with the German accent, although she speaks with an English accent. And she says, 2 psychopaths working together is not very good. Although she wants him to teach young, whatever his face is, the code. So let's see how that logic works out.
Right.
I was wrong on 2 points already. About the first point being that that Hannah was going to die this episode. I was wrong on that.
He is the warlock.
Okay, good. It's Julian Sands, the warlock.
Okay.
I remember that movie for 2 things: a guy, somebody's ear being inside of a fucking frying pan, I think, and then him having to kiss another man to kill him in a way.
There's a cool
Warlock. Oh, there was also
psychic scene where she gets possessed by Satan.
in Warlock.
Yeah.
I like that part where he maybe it was Warlock Part 2 where he shoots at a guy with his finger gun. He just points at him with his finger like a gun and he shoots him with it.
Those are good movies. We should review those too.
I don't remember that much.
I keep thinking we've run out of movies to review that are any good. But
was that the one where the guy who's like a witch hunter finds his own grave in the future?
They try, it's time travel and the warlock.
He's like, no, it's kind of like a fake, a weirdo version of the Highlander for some reason. I don't know why I put those two together, even though they're completely different.
And you know, it makes sense because we were talking about how Angel's a time traveler. And, you know, so we got a guy who does some form of
the
time
millionaire
travel.
was there to get Angel. I mean, he didn't do it because Dexter killed him. But anyway,
Angel's going to save the day. He's going to, like, put on some kind of cloak and wizard hat in the final episode. And
but Hannah obviously survived.
From his penis or something.
Hannah obviously survives, and her whole setup was to have Dexter kill her millionaire husband without her looking guilty for it. But she ends up killing him anyway by her own hands, which leads back to the Hannah-Dexter love storyline, which digs in Deborah's side. And I think Deborah's going to take this bitch out.
Yeah, and Deborah doesn't trust Dexter because she's fucking, and rightfully so, because she's bugging his car.
Yeah. He's like, I want to do her. And he just wants to bang Hannah. And here's my second thing that I was wrong. You know what was the kid's name? Zach Galifianakis?
Zach Hamilton.
Zach and the Zach Attack Pack, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
How they set it up for him. I said he was going to kill the neighbor. I don't think it was him. I think it was that fucking guy that she was dating that killed her. How about that? I like them apples.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's him.
That little hipster douchebag, I don't think
it's him. I think it was Edward Snowden without glasses. That's what he looked like. You said Snow something. I was like, well, yeah, that guy kind of looked like Snowden, even though you didn't mean it that way. He looks like... I think he kills that girl and then he releases the NSA secrets and then he runs off to Russia. It's him.
I don't think it.
He was a good actor. I felt bad because the actor has like a sweet face and he was crying, but I think he's the one that killed her.
No, he's too much of a douchey hipster.
No. I'm telling you, that's my only prediction of sticking with. It's too obvious to not be.
Although
I've been wrong about everything else because in the next episode, because he left before she gets murdered.
And also, she was bludgeoned to death.
The same way,
right? I'm happy she's dead, though. She annoyed me.
I felt bad for her. She just wanted some of that Dexter schlong.
But she was annoying. She reminds me of, like, I don't know.
That's why it's too obvious because...
hipster girls.
It's too obvious because she asks...
She thinks she's so cool and stuff.
I don't think so at all. She likes walking on the beach. You don't like that stuff?
No, but you could tell she thinks she's cool. She's the shit in her mind. I don't like people like that.
She sits back and listens to the yeahs and goes over LPs with you and stuff, and you gotta.
She's like a vegan or something. No offense to anyone listening to this.
Anyway, so
that fit all these descriptions. I fit some of them.
I think it's obvious it's that guy who killed her. I think so. I could be wrong. You know, every time I had an idea for a good twist, it's not used in like Deborah poisoning herself to get Hannah in trouble.
So far, I'm like 0 for 0 on every
me too.
prediction I've made.
And then also now the fact that the lady Dexter's neighbor went up to Deborah and said, "Oh, you know, I like the mysterious guy over the nice guy," and Deborah's like, "No, just stay with the nice guy, and she does, and she gets killed for it. I bet you it was that guy. Although it's a little too coincidental that everybody's killing everybody in the show.
Yeah, how many serial killers could there be?
Well, it's Dexter, so it's the land. If you're not a serial killer on this show, I don't know how. I think everybody's killed everybody except for Vince, right? He's killed sperm, so he's killed somebody. Yeah. Speaking of Vince, cha-cha, his little daughter, yum yum yum, delicious.
Yeah, that made me feel very uncomfortable.
I knew in the pants. I knew as soon as she said, "I gotta make money," I was like, "She's working at a titty joint," or she's.
Yeah.
I knew as soon as she said, and then when he shows up, and then she's so comfortable, nude in front of her, she's cute.
I wouldn't want to see my future daughter's boobs like that.
Your future daughter's boobs?
Yeah, or my future.
She would
son's
be your
boobs.
daughter on that time, wouldn't she?
Okay, you know what I'm saying.
Time traveler Danny.
No, that's very awkward.
I like the storyline. I like that they give. I understood finally why they gave Vince a storyline. This is like the most storyline.
Because he hasn't had one.
Right.
Ever.
This is like the first storyline I've ever seen. This is like the reward.
He probably was like, "It's the final season. Give me some fucking lines."
This is the final reward. I bet you think any like Asian American groups are pissed and they just like put him, give him his own fucking episode before you say anything
I bet
stupid.
it's either part of their possible spin-off that they're gonna have like a Mazuka hour or something,
I'd watch it.
He was just like, "This is the end of the show. Just give me something to do."
Yeah, I'm totally not bored by Vince's storyline. I think it's cute. I'm glad that they only put a little bit pepper it. Anyway, going back to who's this guy? Who's this asshole? The mannequin.
The husband. What the hell is his name?
No, I meant mannequin.
Miles.
Well, yeah. Besides that, he's a rich guy, and I thought he would be like a larger.
He owns all these casinos. He's kind of like a mafioso type.
I thought it would be a larger arc because he's kind of recognizable. That they would have him more in the show, but I guess not. So whatever.
Yeah. He got Hannah basically a fake identity. He knows all about Dexter, or at least he knows something about Dexter.
Yeah, I would think they would put more because then he has those street toughs that he works with. So maybe those street toughs will show up some more to kick his ass because he killed their boss, so they don't know where he is.
But he didn't kill the boss. She did.
Right, but he's the guy that they beat up before he is, I'm gonna assume, mysteriously disappeared. So obviously they're gonna think, what the fuck happened to our boss? So maybe,
I have a feeling that this guy has a lot of people beaten up, though.
Do you think that storyline will be tied up with all his men?
I think that it's gonna be kind of like Hannah on the run, Dexter protecting her kind of thing.
What's up with Mannequin Fucker? He got in trouble for, what's his name again?
Oh, Quinn, because he's following Mannequin Fucker, because he's following around Zach Hamilton.
Because Dexter told him, and Zach got photos of him. Can you imagine walking up to a police precinct and just being that rude to them, to the cops?
Oh, he's like a rich, spoiled child.
I would have loved if
serial killer Paris Hilton.
I wish Batista hit him right over the head with a nightstick, like right. I think the captain would be like, oh, "What are you doing?" You know. But anyway, yeah, that's going on. What are the storylines that we kind of trampling on? Deborah, I think, is going to go acing for Hannah. That's going to be a huge conflict right there, and I think.
And I think Deborah and what's his name, her boss.
Yeah, that's the other storyline. I think that was he came off like a real fucking creep, like a total.
No, he's Elway. That's his name, Elway. No, he's like right because she's such a bitch to him. She's like always nasty and mean. He's like doing all this stuff for her.
I never really saw that. I never really saw her acting like a total twat to him.
Are you kidding? Crazy? He walks in there and like tries to talk to her, and she's so like cold and distant. Of course, she has good reason, but he doesn't know her reason.
But the thing is, she's trying to ward off the fact that he's into her, and how to read that with somebody else is you got to put clear lines, right? I'm not trying to sound like some
she is like unnecessarily rude. She is.
Oh, now we know what Danny's into. Yes means no, and no means yes.
No, it's not like that. She's mean to him. And she even admits it and apologizes, so even she agrees with what I'm saying.
Hey, honey, you want this drink I made for you? Ooh-hee. Anyway, so what are your predictions for the next couple episodes of Dexter?
I feel like there's no point because I always mess up.
Me too.
But
I'm telling you this.
Is going to be a lot focused on Hannah hiding out.
I think
trying to get Hannah. They preview that she's going to try to track her.
I think Snowden is the one that killed Dexter's neighbor. That's what I think. I don't
agree.
But then I've been wrong for everything else on this show, so.
And then I think Dexter's going to, try to, get Zach punished or get him to at least admit to killing.
That's why I don't think Zach did it, because he's like, where'd you do it? And then he's like, what are you talking about? He's wondering, he's like, what the they cut it off before he says fuck on the trailer. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I think he really had nothing to do with her murder, and that's why they're kind of keeping it away. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think he's gonna kill him. I think him and Zach, the Zackster. That's what they're gonna call it, Zackster, the spinoff. Him and Zach are gonna find that Snowden guy and kill him. I'm telling you, that's what's gonna happen.
All right.
I'm telling you, Jerry. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold. All right, and so we'll see what happens next week. So what kind of rating would you give this episode?
I liked it because it was like a very romantic, calm but really good episode. So I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
What? You didn't like it?
No, I'm just surprised it was a 10 out of 10 episode.
I thought it was great. I loved it.
All right, whatever. Stop breaking my balls.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Awkwardly talking with your daughter as her boobs are hanging out for all to see.
She was cute. It was funny because I had a real dilemma now because Breaking Bad came back, so I started watching. I was like, what should I watch first, Dexter, Breaking Bad? So
that's a show that I need to watch.
I watched Breaking Bad live. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch Breaking Bad, and then I saw Dexter like an hour and a half later, like a dick. But Dexter was good. I was gonna give it a 7 out of. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 episode.
7? Come on.
It was good, but I mean, it wasn't that great to me.
I thought it was great. It felt like it wasn't so much eventful. It was just like a very comfortable, classic feeling of Dexter.
Yeah. Whatever, Danny. So,
there were no knots of worry or anxiety in my stomach while watching it.
Did you say something with your rating, or did?
I said boobs, looking at your daughter's boobs.
Oh, man, she's hot. I'm very enamored with Masuka's daughter. Anyway, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10, having a B-rate actor who everybody can recognize for 3 seconds for no reason. There you go.
Which one is that?
Julian Sands from
Oh, I see.
From Warcock.
They should have had him do some of his role from Warlock.
He kisses Dexter and kills him that way, and then he sees an ear.
He produces a ball of fire or something.
So and then Angel sees his own grave in the future and collapses on it and screams.
He jumps through a time portal, and then 300 years later, Dexter follows him through and kills people that are all sci-fi and floating cars and shit.
Jeez. All right, so Daddy, what's the final word?
Ayaba yaba, how did you do it?
With your host Alex and
Testicle.
And today's episode of Dexter. Anyway, you can find us
at Hardy. No, that works. It's a new one. Are we there yet?
You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/thehardyconstruction. And the episode today is called what again?
Are we there yet?
It stars Michael C. Hall, Jennifer Carpenter, some lady named Hannah, Dr. Vogel, Vince Masuka, all these other crazy characters. So, Danny, what's this episode about in a nutshell?
Well, the last episode left us off with Cassie being dead, and you think it's Zach.
Cassie being the neighbor, yeah.
Yep, and we thought it was Zach, and
you thought it was Zach. I still say it was the guy she was dating.
Well, either way, and actually, you know what? Oh wow, it really could be though. He could be the brain surgeon.
Yeah, you think he's the actual brain surgeon? It's funny. They did throw... When I saw that that they found Zach's blood under the fingernails of Cassie, I was like, fuck, man, I was wrong again. And then later on we find out that somebody had jimmied the door handle on Zach's car.
If we find out that Dr. Vogel ultimately is, the
brain surgeon?
Yeah, or something like that, and that this is all, this big thing that she's just doing, I would be a genius. But no, you could be right about that boyfriend, though. He could have specifically dated Cassie because he knows that Dexter lives right there. And stuff like that,
Interesting. Yeah, there's something about him. Although when they were interviewed, when they first were at the crime scene, and they were like, oh, do you think the boyfriend did it? And then he was, no, he had a alibi. But I was like, no. So I was happy when
the other guy that the brain surgeon that tried to kill Vogel, who the hell is he then?
The other guy that was killing the women underneath the house?
No, the guy that's breaking the toes and everything. And
yeah, that's what I was saying. The guy killing the women, him. No, he did.
Yeah.
He was just a diversionary tactic. He was a red herring. That's what I said.
Yeah, but I mean, who was he in the show? In reference to the show,
he was he was a former patient of Vogel. That's all.
So it's just like a coincidence.
Yeah, everybody she treated was still killing people. So
and she's not a very good doctor. And the guy that Yeah, they never have broken toes. Any of these people with their missing
Right,
brains.
that's what you pointed out. I wasn't paying attention to any of that shit. So yeah, I still think that guy she was dating has something to do with it. Although when Quinn was interviewing him, he was like about Zach. He was like, he looks familiar, but I never seen him around. So he could have easily went, yeah, that guy was there, but he didn't. So it was still weird that they called him back in. You know what I mean? So Hannah and Dexter are trying to come together after they killed her husband because he was a snake. Nobody's ever a nice guy in this show.
He was the warlock.
It was the warlock. He was going to
He did
make out
too
with-
much vagina magic.
He was trying to eat another guy's tongue out by kissing him.
Mm-hmm.
Or bite another guy's tongue off by kissing him. And they get rid of the body. She talks of the idea of romance is that she...
Isn't there one where he takes a businessman who has these attack dogs and shrinks him down, and then his dogs eat him?
What the fuck are you talking about?
In the Warlock movies.
I thought you were talking about in Dexter. I was like, I never saw that episode. What the fuck episode is
Dexter
that?
has mystical powers in the new episode.
That'd be great. Like, he gets struck by lightning the second to last episode, and that's what he gets.
Oh, actually, you know what would be awesome? Is if, like, one time in one random episode there is, like, a quick, like, supernatural power he has, but they never reference it again.
And they don't even question it at all. Like, he just points his finger and you see like the lightning of Odin hit the guy and shit. And then he just keeps walking. I feel like doing that with something now. Just have an established show for 9 years and then one episode just does that for no reason.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, we see Dexter's trying to get Hannah's paperwork out of the way, giving her a new name so she can move to wherever. He says, what about Argentina? And she was like, maybe.
What I don't understand is why doesn't Dexter just go with her? Start a new life. Get out of there.
Because he has his kid here, and I guess it would
But
be too
you take the
complicated.
kid.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why didn't he just do that? But he's an idiot.
Even Deb could go with him. I mean, who cares?
I don't know. Well, they try to get Zach in trouble. It was funny because I was reading a review of the episode, and they were right about it. They gave Zach a complete overhaul of character. Because he wasn't like a bratty asshole. He was kind of like funny and actually interesting to watch.
Yeah, he was really
watch-
funny in points in this episode.
I was
with the,
watching him and I was like, I was like, holy shit, he would be actually good for like a spin-off. Like if he killed Dexter in the finale and then they just like hunt him around in the new show.
Yeah.
But of course, by the end of the episode, that was.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Put somebody else's brains in his
It's
head.
Weekend at Bernie's spin-off. They just like string him up and like his rotting brain is just like falling out of his skull.
It's Dr. Vogel. She puts strings all over and walks around with him. And even though she could technically not call herself a killer because she puts the knife in Zach's hand and like releases like vines and shit or strings that at the right angle and speed.
Knife or something.
She makes basically who's that inventor that did all those complicated things just to like light
In
a
the
match?
Looney Tunes and everything. I don't know what his name is offhand, but,
But anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so they so Dexter towards the end of the episode he makes love to Hannah again. Of course we don't see Hannah naked. We see Dexter's buttocks, which I was like, why?
No, but I think this is the first time we've seen Dexter's butt.
I guess
and
so. I thought we had.
It's good that after the whole show we finally got to see his butt.
Good for you. All I know is that watching, it's funny thinking as a man, you're watching a sex scene, and then you realize all the nudity is the guy's thing, then you realize how stupid sex scenes are in movies. I was watching, I was like, what's the point of a sex scene? Because I was like, who cares? But if she was like completely naked, I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty good scene. This brought levity and feeling to the sequence. That's like all the scenes with Angel's sister, but if it's Dexter showing his ass, like, who cares about this? Who needs this? Who needs to see a guy's buttocks going up and down on some girl's thighs? But I
think it added a great twist to the plot.
I thought it was a jarringly bad edit when he comes back to the the apartment right after having sex with Hannah. It just cuts to him automatically opening the door, and it's a horrifying scene. There was like no build up to it. It was just like him walking in and Zach's there looking like...
I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, Zach is looking like he's sleeping, but the back of his head is cut out because of the brain surgeon.
You know what's crazy is there's only 4 episodes left.
I know, and I'm looking and I'm like, this kind of seems like a regular season. It doesn't seem like this is the end, you know?
Yeah, well, it started off so fast and then it slowed down, but it's
that's what people were complaining about. In the review that I read, that they were like, "Oh, this is the 5th out of the last couple episodes. And I was like, holy shit! Yeah, it is only like fucking 4 episodes left. And
They'll do it. They'll do it. Do you remember season 2? How it ended? Like it all wrapped up in like 2 or 3 episodes?
I think maybe they might do something where. What do you think they'll do? Who do you think is setting
I really can't even guess anymore because I'm wrong every time.
Who do you think? Yeah, I know we're pretty bad, but let's do it anyway. Let's have the constant reminder that we're horrible predictors. Who do you think set up Zach with putting?
Definitely the brain surgeon.
You think so?
And, yeah, definitely because he kills him. Then he was just fucking with them.
So you don't think it's Cassie's boyfriend, or you think it was?
Well, no, Cassie's boyfriend might be the brain surgeon.
Okay. And
I didn't think of that at all, but then at first, but then he is like this random person that came in their lives, and he knows of Dexter because Dexter was trying to hunt him. So maybe he then decides, okay, well, let me date the girl that lives next to Dexter.
Deborah's deciding to come back to the Force. So that'd be interesting, kind of. No, I think she pulls out the shirt.
No matter what, in the next 4 episodes, they're gonna find out that she killed LaGuerta or something.
Somebody's. I don't think they'll all make it out. Do you think?
I don't know, but they're definitely gonna find that she killed LaGuerta. They're definitely gonna find that Dexter's a serial killer. They have to.
What if they never do?
I don't know. Well, then something else better happen. I just don't know.
Jamie the sister is all broken up because of her friend Cassie, who we've never seen until that episode. She's waiting for Quinn. Quinn is obviously gonna hook up with what's her face again, Deborah.
Yeah, they showed that in the fucking preview.
Deb's boss is flipped the coin. Why do you think he did that? You think he did that just out of being pissed off at Deborah because she was thinking of quitting? Because she was like, oh, whatever. I think he did it because I don't know why he would do that. What was the point of him doing that?
Well, she said, hey, we should do this, and got all weird about it, and then she started acting all weird and didn't want to do it anymore, so he was suspicious.
Yeah, and then he just dropped a dime on her as soon as Dexter ran back to get his woman to stay back in Miami. So, what did you think of Deborah confronting Hannah? People forgive each other really well. She tried to poison and kill her. You know what I mean?
Well, she just does. I don't know. I mean, I guess that would be how it would happen in real life.
What?
If you had a brother who was a serial killer and he was in love with this person and you cared about your brother, you wouldn't, maybe.
She should have fucked her up. I was waiting for her to knock her teeth out or something. Just fuck her up.
She should have eaten her out or something.
Well, that would have been a good episode too. Then there's a reason to watch a sex.
Do you think Hannah could be like a Poison Ivy type of villain, like that she, because she's a florist, maybe she can make trees grow out of the earth and attack people and stuff.
So anyway, I think the next episode they're gonna have something interesting going on. At least, there's only 4 episodes, so what the fuck can happen? Vince Masuka's daughter. It's kind of, I guess it was for comedic purpose, but I didn't give a shit about it at all.
I enjoyed it.
Her putting smoke to kill the bad juju in the place, and Captain Morgan there, like an asshole. I don't like Captain Morgan after he sold out.
He's a jerk.
He really is. He's a piece of shit. Whoa, I guess we don't gotta worry about that.
Else uses smoke to kill juju.
What? No, don't do it. Anyway. Don't do it. I already have a horrible joke in my head that maybe you might say, and I don't want you to do it. Anyway, okay. So what's your predictions for the next episodes? The last 4.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to get to the point, but they're definitely going to have to discover who is the brain surgeon officially. I think that Dr. Vogel is going to get exposed as maybe being kind of behind it. Maybe
I think she's going to get killed. Yeah. She has.
But I think she's evil. Maybe I'm not sure.
She's got that book about Dexter. She's writing notes about him. Imagine, when she dies and then somebody reads all those notes about her.
She's like a mastermind or something. And I think that somehow they're gonna find out that LaGuerta was killed by Deb and Dexter.
And maybe she still killed Harry. We'll see. Something about that. Zach's gone, so they don't gotta. This is gonna get Quinn a little bit riled up.
If they reference that thing that Harrison broke, that. If they reference that thing that Batista gave of LaGuerta's and they got broken, I'm a genius. Then you'll be
justified.
I'm a genius.
What was that with Quinn when he was at the house trying? He wanted to leave Jamie alone. He goes, "Why don't you stay with little man?" He goes, "My name's Harrison." And it's like, you gotta watch cartoons. He's still watching that fucking cartoon.
He's doing the episode 1 Star Wars remake. He's gonna. He's going to replace Anakin.
Go ahead,
My
say it.
name's Anakin! Yippee!
Ice pod racing! Anyway, now this is pod racing, excuse me. This is pod racing! So, with that, Danny, what's your rating for this episode?
I'm going to give it an 8.317 out of 10.
What was that rat cartoon Harrison was watching?
Oh, yeah, okay. 8.317 out of 10. Finally getting to see Dexter's butt after, like, years of knowing him. And I've always wondered, what does his butt look like? And now I know.
What was that a cartoon that Harrison was watching with those little rats? What was that? He keeps watching that same cartoon.
Little rats?
Yeah, you know what's like the stop motion animation of the rats that he keeps watching of mice or something?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Alright, 8 out of 10, I think it must have been French. 8 out of 10, or maybe those Canadian kind of things. 8 out of 10, having a nice, delicious dinner from an old recipe, and then straight on looking into a laptop full of a woman bludgeoned to death, images of her. So with that,
I also noticed a funny thing, but whatever, I justified in my head. But Dr. Vogel doesn't know that there are guests coming over, yet she has enough food to feed 3 people. 4 people, including herself.
I was almost thinking she was going to poison them all, but...
But then I realized, like, I sometimes cook in bulk so I could have leftovers, so maybe that was her approach. I don't know.
I almost had an idea that she was going to send Zach out to kill Dexter, but oh well.
Or she's psychic.
Yep. No time traveling angel this episode. Anyway, so Danny, what's the final word?
Testicle again.
It was Alex and
Kurt Reynolds.
today's episode of Dexter is called
Make Your Own Kind of Music.
Kurt Reynolds. That's pretty funny. It stars Michael C. Hall, Jennifer Carpenter, a couple other people, Edward Snowden.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. What is this episode about, Danny?
We find out who the brain surgeon is, and we find out more about Vogel, and also everything's closing in on Hannah.
So you and I were both right in a way, huh?
You were right. You were fucking right.
No, but you said...
I've been wrong about every detail. You were right about something.
You said Oliver Saxon was going to be the brain surgeon.
Did I say that?
You did last week.
Oh.
So you're right. There you go. We're both right. I said the surgeon's still alive because I read some spoilers before.
No, you're the one that said the boyfriend was the guy, and I was like, oh no, he's just some hipster idiot. He can't be the guy.
Oh, who cares? So let's go about this episode. What did you think?
I liked it.
What have we got? Only 3 episodes left now, right?
Yeah, now there's only 3 left, and I don't quite understand how it's going to wrap up. I'm getting nervous.
It's weird watching this and watching Breaking Bad because you see the level of difference between writing.
Well, I don't know nothing about Breaking Bad yet.
Breaking Bad is good, and Dexter's also fun.
Yeah,
but it's not as great, and it feels like we're just watching another season of Dexter, and it's just going to happen to end.
Well, it's gonna. That's how I feel too right now. But it's going to end with a bang. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure of it too. So we find out that Oliver Saxon is Vogel's son. Who? This is what I don't get. Oliver Saxon. They were in England, right? When they were young. And they
Why does he have an accent?
Not that, but when they were young, they were still in England, and she said that she left them in a home for the mentally deranged or whatever, right?
Yeah, and it burned down.
That's in England, right?
Uh-huh.
How does he have memories of a place in Florida growing up with her?
Maybe
that diner.
He could have lived in Florida at one point too. Who knows?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean, they could have gone to Florida.
Yeah, but then she would have to go back.
Maybe
to England.
Maybe it wasn't in England, or maybe she was in Florida and then moved to England.
Anyway, so we found out that he had killed his brother when he was younger. Now we find out that she has a tie to him, who's her son, and I thought Vogel was going to die because the trailer showed her slumping over, but that was just Dexter drugging her.
Right.
And we find out she has linked up with Dexter, whether she's going to help him. Why would she help him kind of continue his nefarious
What are you trying to
deeds?
say here?
Why would Vogel help her son continue his nefarious deeds? Maybe
because she's bad.
Maybe she
that I was right about. She is bad, but not in the way I thought.
Maybe she's just going to try to help him control it and go after bad people? The Harry's Code, maybe?
I don't know. She's a little evil.
Yeah,
and I knew there was something wrong with her, but I thought she was the killer, but she's not. She's the mastermind now. But then, my friend had this theory that she really knew all along that her son was the guy and was just kind of like manipulating everything so that Dexter and her son would meet or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's true, but she does seem like some kind of evil mastermind.
What do you think about the brain surgeon himself? Do you like him?
I thought he was like a hipster douche, but now I see that he's...
There's more to him, according to the next episode. It might be better. Jennifer Carpenter's character, dealing with being a cop again. What do you think? And Quinn.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I was not feeling her with that Elway guy.
Yeah. Fuck him.
And then in the preview of the next episode, I thought I saw Dexter hit Elway.
It looks like it, yeah. And Saxon obviously is going to kill somebody, so we'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not really
Saxon sees Dexter and talks to him. Also, we see.
Okay, so I mean, like, I'm completely confused as to where this is going to go. I think. I mean, not really.
What, the whole show as a whole?
Yeah, they're setting it up that there's going to be a storm coming, and then Dexter wants to leave with Hannah, and he wants to take little, what's his name with him, Harrison?
All I know is I'll be upset if Dexter gets murdered by friggin' Dr. Vogel's son.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Because he's only introduced in this episode. I'd rather him be killed by Deb, or kill himself even, than that.
I hope it's not even a more generic ending for everything, but I don't think that'll happen. I don't think Vogel's son will...
I hope not.
What's your theory that Vogel's son will do it? That then he'll get killed by Deborah or something like that? Or he'll just get away with it?
Deborah will kill Vogel's son, you think?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that how you're thinking?
I think that Deborah is more likely to kill him than some cop-out like Vogel's son killing him.
Right. What do you think it's leading up to, like, yourself? Like... Because, you know...
It's so hard to say because, I mean, the next episode is called Goodbye Miami, which implies that they're going to leave to Argentina.
3 episodes, though, so...
But obviously they're not going to leave to Argentina because then the show would be over.
What do you think Vogel's fate is going to be now that she's teamed up with her son?
I hope she dies.
I think she will. I mean, she's just teamed up.
I really want Dexter to kill her. Like, she deserves it.
Quinn's relationship, what do you think he's going to do? People are saying, Quinn and Angel will have a new show with Masuka and his daughter, and that'll be the new spin-off, which I wouldn't mind watching myself.
Well, Quinn just cheated on Batista, Angel's sister, so,
yeah, but I think
mean...
He pulled back enough, I guess. I don't know. He's kind of he's an asshole.
Yeah, but I can't imagine what the show would be. It's him time traveling and fucking Mazuka saging an office and looking at girls, and his daughter would be like, "Dad."
What are the other plot points that what was it? Was he a tracker? The guy that was looking after Hannah?
That guy's a super jerk. Yeah, the marshal. He's a marshal.
Why was he a super jerk?
He was such a douche. He's like going in there and judging his fake relationship with Hannah's friend or whatever. You can go into someone's house and make fun of his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, that was kind of weird. Hannah's friend, imagine she squeezed Dexter's balls, and he was like, you know what, fuck Hannah, and then he just starts boning her right there. And then he gives up Hannah. He's like, this is some prime slut right here.
And Hannah's just like, she can't do anything but watch. Because she can't come out and reveal herself because the marshal's still sitting there jerking off.
Then it turns her real on, and then she doesn't want to date Dexter anymore. She just wants to watch him fuck other girls, like an old
and
man.
That turns into the spinoff. It's like a porn spinoff.
Like an old man who can only get erections watching his wife bone other men and stuff.
Michael C. Hall. Every episode is Dexter has sex with a criminal prostitute and then kills her in the end as Hannah watches.
And faps away.
And then occasionally Hannah will like put, poison on the tip of Dexter's penis. So when the girl sucks it, she'll die.
That's ridiculous. Okay, so your predictions for the next couple episodes?
I can't even say.
Are you excited? Are you happy?
They're not still going to Argentina. That I could feel pretty confident about.
Are you happy with the season? Are you think Captain Matthews? I kept calling him Captain Morgan last time. I meant Captain Matthews. I think he's setting up for. He thinks Quinn might have killed this guy.
What? Zach?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Because they're all offended that Zach disappears, so there's got to be a reason that.
But I think that no matter what, it's the 3 episodes from the end. They're going to find out
that Dexter has shady connections with Zach and with all these different people. They have to find that out.
You don't know. The magic of this show has always been leaning towards Dexter's favor. So
Yeah, but it's the last fucking episode. It has to happen.
We'll
Is he never gonna get caught? That's the end of it? Like,
maybe. I don't know.
it just goes on like nothing happens.
He gets caught in a time warp making breakfast forever, killing mosquitoes and shit. Well, we'll find out.
Juicing oranges and killing mosquitoes.
I'll give this episode a 6 out of 10.
Oh, you didn't like it?
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was alright.
Well, you don't have to change it for me.
No, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Once the show's over, I'll explain why. I'll give this a 7 out of my enjoyment factor. 7 out of 10. Just to think, we're going to be done with it.
But you're not going to explain why during the show?
I just can't. I really can't explain.
Okay.
I'll explain on the final episode of our podcast of this show.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Bay Harbor bitching.
Bay Harbor bitching, right? I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Let me see. Damn, I can't think of a good one. 7 out of 10. An inquiring new worker for the crime lab telling one of the old bosses to not go into a room, even though she has the definite right to, while she gets offended by saying, "Who the fuck are you?"
Okay, I'm gonna give this an 8.
See?
7.5. 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Finding out, having your idea of someone being a hipster douchebag guy who listens to the yeahs changed around, and finding out that he's actually a man with no empathy that kills people and cuts out parts of their brains and gives it to his mom in a jar.
So Danny, what's the final word?
Babuba.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us at Hardy. It's Bay Harbor bitching. I almost went into a racist voice over there. I stopped myself. If you listen to this episode, you can guess where I was going, but I stopped because I care about America. Anyway, it's Bay Harbor bitching, which means what show are we covering today?
Wait, what are our names?
Who gives a shit? It's Alex and
Lance Armstrong's 1990s testicles.
And today we're reviewing.
Dexter Season 8, Goodbye Miami, Episode 10.
Ufa, a.k.a. Goodbye Show.
Yeah.
Yow. Whoa. Ho, ho. Boy, oh boy, I'm trying to sound excited because I'm not. Because you know what? Who cares, Danny? Danny, who cares?
I care.
That's good for you because you're an asshole. Me, I don't care anymore. I don't care.
My God.
This show, I don't care.
Too much Breaking Bad for you.
Breaking Bad. But to give him credit, Breaking Bad has been on for 5-6 years, and Dexter's been on for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But Dexter was good for the first 4 seasons. I'll give him that. 5th and 6th season.
Season 7 was good. Season 5 was good. Season 6,
Which was 6? Was that Lumen? I think
that
it
was
Lumen.
no. That was.
Oh, is that with the art guys?
Colin Hanks.
What a pile of dog shit. That was horrible. And the Lumen season, I wasn't too happy with either.
That would be like, that season was like in the movie Big, if it somehow went wrong.
he went to like a toy, what is it?
He went to a serial killer genie.
A coin-operated serial killer genie. And then he had sex with an older woman. But then
he watched too much Battlestar Galactica and hallucinated Admiral Adama.
And then it was Earth all along. Anyway, so, this episode, tell me what happens in this episode.
Okay, well, it's basically just it left us off with Vogel reunites with her son, who is that weird hipster douche.
He's so handsome. I think I'm gay for that serial killer guy.
Oh my God.
He's what I always wanted to be, except for cutting the brains out of people's heads.
I can't remember what his fake name was, but his real name is Daniel.
It's Oliver Saxon. Apparently, Oliver Saxon is because I remember reading some blog about the actor, the character, and Oliver Saxon is a quasi version of a real brain surgeon guy, like famous in the UK, who's still alive, I think, actually. So his name is kind of a play on them. So I guess they wanted to be real fucking obvious with who the character is. But anyway, yeah. So Vogel hooks up with Saxon and tries to
begs Dexter not to kill him. She's actually not bad.
Yeah, so
finally we learned
my idea of her killing Harry went down the toilet.
The idea of her being behind it all.
You still think Dexter smashing LaGuardia's thing is going to come back to haunt?
I think that I don't think that's going to come back. I think that overall it would have been better if my idea was correct.
I wish my idea was correct too, but this is what I feel about this episode. I feel so sad about this show because you know what happened? It's like with this last season, now probably people are going to be like, what the fuck, shut up anyway. But I think that this season, Dexter should have been the bad guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it focused on him. Because what they did with this season is they bought off the focus of him getting caught by his sister, and then by the 6th or 7th episode, everything's fine between the both of them.
Right.
Dexter is just back onto the killer of the year, or the killer of the season kind of thing.
Well, he's trying to be a good person more than ever now.
And they're really trying to shoehorn his relationship with Vogelin, but I don't give a fuck. They didn't really have any. For me, they didn't really have a connection.
Well, she kind of like created him or whatever.
Right, but there was nothing behind. There's no real she's a robot and he's a robot. So having them interact with each other doesn't make any sense. I actually believe him and Hannah more. It's funny when Dexter went. I don't know, it's just Michael C. Hall the way he acts. I just
don't understand why Hannah would bring Harrison to the hospital. He wasn't dying.
It was comedy gold when he fell on his fucking face.
Yeah,
I laughed so I was waiting for him.
No, this is Padre!
Yeah. I was fucking waiting for that to happen because if you watch the episode and you see him fall down because they obviously have to use a stunt man. It was
taken him. She's way too casual about it.
It was as bad as The Gate when they replaced the child actor with an adult stuntman. Because when he falls down on his face, he turns into a grown man for half a second, and he falls backwards. It's the worst. And why Hannah is such a fucking moron.
Yeah,
dye your hair. Dye your hair, Hannah. How about that? How about turning your hair fucking black? Stupid. Yeah, right. I don't get it. It's like when
shave your head, even something.
It's like when Dexter, the season, that horrible season with the
wear a hat
with the religious guy, where she could blackface. Anyway, but
why would she take him to the hospital? He wasn't
she's
dying.
An asshole.
It's not like he was dying, you know. She could have just let him fucking bleed. Sorry.
She only knows how to. She only knows how to poison people. She doesn't know how to
sew it. You're such attempt to sew it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was Harrison being an idiot. He goes,
she's way too nonchalant. She's hanging outside the house, just chilling on the beach.
They're just chilling. They're chilling there while that marshal is looking around for her. It's bullshit. Because
now the marshal officially knows.
Yeah, he's gonna be dead. You know he's gonna fucking die in the next episode. I mean, come on. That's just how it is. This show is Deus Ex Machina every fucking episode.
Well, he has to die.
I mean, I'm still gonna.
No, actually, he doesn't have to die because this could be the end.
He's gonna die. No, he's gonna die. Listen to me. I'm gonna say it anyway because it's in the trailer, so everybody saw it. I'm not spoiling anything. The trailers for the last 2 episodes. This is how stupid Showtime is making these fucking trailers. Okay, really bad. If you want to cover your ears, Danny, go ahead. But I'm just telling you what's on the trailers. Okay?
No, don't say.
So they have a scene. They have shots of the next episode. They have a shot of Deborah shooting at somebody, off camera, right?
They also have a shot of Eli following them.
Okay, but here's the thing. Look at how Deborah's falling. Look at her expression on her face. What do you think's happening to her? Okay? I'm not going to say what's happening to her, but just look at the way she's falling down.
I tried not to pay attention, honestly.
The way her body movement is as she's falling. If you're shooting at somebody and you're doing some fucking lethal weapon move, you're going to look cool. She doesn't fall cool. She's falling like she got shot already. Or she's dead, okay? Just look at it. You can see it, and it's like, what's going on? And then something else pointed out. I didn't notice it. You know when they're going through Oliver Saxon's videos and all that shit, and there's a file. There's a folder of all his victims. Guess whose name's in there? Huh? I'm not gonna say. But guess whose name's in there? It's Deborah Morgan's name is on the list of the people. Because Showtime's dumb.
Oh, really?
Stupid. Yeah. Maybe she didn't die. Maybe Oliver Saxon wrote somebody. Darren Morgan's name wrong.
Her, and that was on his kill list.
Maybe could be that, But then we were
because
also...
sometimes they say things that you think are obvious, but they're trying to mislead you.
But the thing is, Dexter does everything, obviously. And here's another thing in the trailer. We see a berserk, what's his name, Quinn, rushing into a room. What could that mean? Who's the only person he's giving a shit about?
It doesn't mean
season?
she's dead. She could have gotten shot. She could have gotten injured.
Something's gonna happen to that bitch. She's done for. I don't care. She's a great actor, but this
She could have gotten. She just could have gotten injured. You know.
The show's ruined for me because I know what the show. I know what happens. And I'm not telling you exactly what's happening, but Showtime is really horrendous with this. And just by looking at those teasers, because I have mental retardation or
I tried really hard not to pay attention to it because I don't want to know.
It's upsetting me how this season has panned out because the last season with Isaac Serco and all that stuff. Did I mention before? You know the intern that was fucking around with Dexter.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I mentioned. Maybe I did. I'm repeating myself. But originally his storyline was supposed to be he starts doing Dexter's kills. That's why he was brought on in that season, right? But I was watching an interview of the Kevin Pollak chat show, which is really a good show you can see on YouTube. He was interviewing Michael C. Hall. This is before this season started. They were like they were about to shoot the last 2 episodes of this season, and he was talking about they brought an intern in, and I told him not to do that storyline. So that's why that character who was built up from that season when Isaac Serco is just taken out.
Right.
With into the Isaac Serco season. Before that, he was being built up to be a psychopath, and he was going to do Dexter's job, doing the same thing. And Michael C. Hall's like, I can't have somebody else doing my stuff. That's supposed to be me. So I guess he had a power trip and told him not to. So the Isaac Serco...
He studied for the role by killing people.
Yeah, the Isaac Serco season was actually supposed to be, I guess, Dexter fighting this guy, which was closer to the books, because that happened in the book. There was a guy setting up kill rooms and shit like that. But anyway, Quinn breaks up with Amy's sister.
Jamie.
Who cares? Melodramatic. Jamie's sister's hot. I guess we'll never see her again on the show.
Yeah, I guess that really was her last line was "Go fuck yourself,"
which is fine because I think she was telling that to the audience because I'm pretty sure that's what they've done with the show. They turned the show into what could have been fucking.
It wasn't that bad.
No, I'm going around how the whole season is for me, how I feel about it. Yeah, I feel it's worse because I saw Breaking Bad and I was panting like a schoolgirl at how exciting that last episode was, and I'm happy that they're having a spin-off with Saul. Yeah, Better Call Saul. It's gonna be good, but it's a prequel, so who knows? Anyway, so what worked for you in this episode?
Well, I like that they resolved everything with Dr. Vogel in a very quick, fucking painful-looking way.
I didn't give a shit. I was like, who cares?
I was happy that that's like over. Now it's like, okay, what's gonna happen?
Dexter's gonna fuck up Deb's boss for getting in.
There were points where I felt like sick watching it, which is a good sign.
Okay.
Because it makes me panicky. The show makes me feel panicky.
Do you think Dexter's gonna make it to Argentina?
No. But I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Something makes me feel like he's gonna fucking make it at the end. He's gonna be like, they're gonna fake his death, and then it's gonna be like the fucking House. Like there was I never watched House ever because I just don't give a shit about that character. In the last episode, he drives off into the sunset after faking his death.
You're talking about the Doctor show?
Yeah, the show House.
Okay.
That's a cool movie with the bull from Nightport as a monster.
Or the other one where there's like eating pianos and...
Yeah, that was awesome. That would be an awesome show. But anyway, it was a character fakes his death and then he makes it all. He rides off into the sunset with his friend who's dying. That's how I think. I really feel that. Huh?
That would kind of suck. Maybe Hannah will die and he'll just go with Harrison.
I would love if Dexter makes it to Argentina and he finds that bitch's head on the bed. Just decapitated on the bed. Like, that'd be great. I love that. But I mean, there's no like somebody was saying online. There's no karmic retribution for Dexter for what he's done. Like somebody was worried about.
Yeah, there is. Rita dies. People die. Deb's gonna die.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He does care.
I don't know. I don't think he really gives a shit.
He's changed.
I don't know, man. I feel real bad about this season. Going from a good season last season and this one.
I don't know. This season has its up and down, but I think overall it's a good season.
It's okay season. It's better than the 6th and the 5th season. To me.
As in final season, I don't know if it's good, but a season, it's good.
They could have done so much more with his character and getting to know more about him. Like, you know more about him in the first season. What they do here is that they throw in a bunch of plot lines with Masuka's daughter, who's hot. But no, what's her point? But other than to set up a fucking spin-off, you know what I mean?
I think it's kind of just filler, giving Mazuka some stuff to do.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they tried to give him some. That must have been in his contract. They were like, okay, now you can do this season.
Right. He's like, I will not do it if you don't give me like 500 lines or something.
And then they would have told him to serve the fucking lunch for the crew, because that's what happened. What do you think would happen to Deb's boss?
I think he's a douchebag, and I hope he dies.
I like him. I hope they catch Dexter. I hope they send him.
His hair is too absurd.
He's cool. He's waiting for his Boondock Saints brother to come on and get him.
I want his hair to change.
I think that's a hair helmet. But yeah, Hannah's an asshole. She doesn't change her haircut.
Yeah, what's wrong with her? What is wrong with her?
Because it's lazy writing. It's not her. It's the writing.
I mean, I get paranoid if I see a cop on the side of the road and I'm driving and I'm going like 5 miles over the limit. I will actually, for like 10 minutes after, keep looking in my rearview mirror. This girl is a fugitive, and she's hanging out on the beach.
Yeah, and then she's sitting there looking at the woman there. She's looking at her left and right, looking at her. Don't look at her. Just act like she could have been like this. Oh, it's my boyfriend's son.
She could have given a fake name even of the kid.
She did. She put Deborah Morgan down. But she
okay, but Morgan, what's that about?
She could like she's are you the mother of the child? Just say he's my boyfriend's son. Is that lying? No.
Yeah, and say the kid's name though is different. Like make up a name. Be like, this is Billy Crystal.
And then the kid starts doing Chayvel with those Jewish jokes that he does so fucking time. And Dexter crying. I like when they slit Vogel's throat, and Dexter starts banging on the window like he gives a shit. And also, what was up with Harry all of a sudden wanting Dexter to kill people? What the fuck did that?
Well, I think because it's a loose end. It's a loose end.
Harry has never done that. Never on that show has he done that.
Sometimes he tells him to take care of business.
Yeah, but I've never seen him so excited for this to happen. Like, he's excited. He says, you gotta do it. Gotta do it, Dexter. It's like, not Harry. That's not Harry. How to Harry.
Yeah, if Dexter knew it was good for him, he would have just split like 3 episodes ago.
Okay, so for this episode, what rating do you give it?
I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. Being a fugitive on the run and going out in public without even putting on sunglasses.
I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Goofily, no, I can't because it's the same thing. Oh no, wait a minute. I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
Falling off a treadmill.
Yeah, I was gonna say falling off a treadmill was too close to yours. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Getting dumped by your crack skinny boyfriend for a crack skinny girl. There you go. So Danny, what's the final word?
Mom!
What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with your host Alex and
Snapple Pop.
And today's episode is about Bay Harbor bitching, which is
it's episode 11. What the fuck?
Dexter.
Is it called? Dexter. What is the episode called? I don't even know.
I'm gonna edit it really poorly tonight into it. So
okay.
It is
Monkey in a Box.
And so this is what the preemptive strike before the final episode.
Yeah, there's one more episode. That's it.
And just like you said, we're at the South Street Seaport, and we're bitching about the Bay Harbor butcher, which is Dexter. So what happens in this episode, Danny?
Well, the last episode left us off with Vogel getting her neck turned into a vagina.
Yes.
And
that's what they cut out this episode, was Dexter furiously fucking it.
Yeah.
He was like, I've got to do this.
It's like the darkness in me tells me to do this.
He turns from the dark defender to the dark rapist. And Harry was watching, grabbing his ghost genitals.
Shooting out ectoplasm.
All over Bill Murray's face. Anyway, so this episode starts off right from there with Dexter cleaning up the blood. It's very funny because he leaves his fingerprints everywhere all around the house, even though
I'm sure he got rid of them after.
I guess, but he's touching even when he was looking for the files and everything, he was making sure to get all the files.
I think he's being a little careless. He just wants to leave.
Yeah, he was looking for all the files that Vogel had on them, so he trashes them. Although,
that's a boat you hear, by the way.
Yeah, we're really at the South Street Seaport in New York.
Really are.
That boat. So he was really deleting stuff. Although, what I don't understand is that, let's talk about this. In real life, there was a guy that actually mimicked Dexter. He actually,
really?
Yes, this happened in real life.
Okay.
He wanted to be a filmmaker. He actually directed a film, and he wrote a script about a guy who finds another guy and kills him perfectly.
Okay.
You hear those boats? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So wait, there's a boat passing us by. A taxi, a water taxi.
It's okay.
And he put a Craigslist ad or something. He met this guy online saying he was a girl. The guy met him. He took him to his kill room and killed the guy.
Was the guy bad at least?
No, I don't know. He was just some guy. He found him.
Okay.
So what happened is he killed the guy, and then I guess he finished the rest of the movie with this extra knowledge of how to kill somebody, I guess. And well, anyway, the cops found out that he did this through some way, and apparently he erased everything off his computer. But nowadays, there's a lot of.
But Dexter probably has all these programs to get rid of the hard drive. Even.
They never show that though. They just show him take it and drag it into the trash dump, and that's it.
I'm sure that he knows what he's doing.
Do you think it's equipment that's as great as the one where they found out who Oliver Saxon was with those special effects of the kid's face?
He's
how does that
Dexter's like a master hacker. He could
totally. Yeah, with one button, it's like a big giant orange button.
Yeah.
So after he cleans up, he calls.
Shut up, taxi.
He calls up the Miami Metro to go, figure out what's going on. They tell him to leave because they don't want a forensics guy to actually take on the case if he was there.
Right.
So what happens in this episode, Danny? In a nutshell?
Okay, so basically, Oliver Saxon offers Dexter a truce. He goes in and starts fucking with Dexter as a suspect or whatever. Then he goes to buy his house as one of the people and offers him a truce.
And a nice little callback to
Trinity.
Yeah, not Trinity. Mario, not Mario. The Spanish guy from season 3. What the hell's his name? Manuel?
Jimmy Smits.
That wasn't the name of the show, but Jimmy Smits' wife. I forgot, but I totally forgot.
I didn't realize that was her. Okay.
I was like, where's this character from? She's pretty. She's hot. She's a hotter Latina woman.
Yeah.
A MILF, if you will. And it was a nice little callback to season 3, the season that apparently everybody hated. I liked it.
I liked it.
I think it kind of got rushed with that serial killer, the Skinner, but other than that, I was fine with it.
I didn't mind the Skinner either.
Yeah, no, I thought it was okay. Manuel? What the fuck was his name? I'm gonna be all upset all day. Yeah, whatever. He's a dead spick, huh?
Oh,
how
okay.
dare you,
He is
racist white
Spanish.
bastard.
He could say it. He could say that. He's
anyway,
Spanish.
so yeah, that was a nice callback. So they have her there for a couple of seconds, and Oliver is basically setting on the table, threatening Dexter if you stay in Miami, I'll kill everybody else. Yeah. Why Oliver needs to stay in Miami, who knows?
This is what always bothers me. Dexter's basically, this guy could at any moment say Dexter's a serial killer.
Yeah.
That would make me nervous if I was a serial killer. Dexter doesn't seem to realize
Remember, the universe helps Dexter. When Dexter left a threatening phone call on a video on one of the killer's phones, they didn't check his phone to see a video of Dexter clearly saying that he's a fucking... So bad.
Right.
The world helps Dexter.
Well, that was Tom Hanks' son, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Maybe Tom Hanks found it and then deleted it off the phone.
Right.
It's like, oh boy. Anyway, so... What did you think about Oliver Saxon in this episode?
I kind of like him.
Me too.
He's really sick. He's good.
He really grew on me this episode.
I didn't like him as a hipster douche, but as a serial killer, I like him a lot.
Yeah. Do you detect some sort of yeah, it's getting windy. Some sort of European accent?
Yeah, he's got a slight accent in there. Yeah.
Because I would understand if
that would make sense because he grew up in London for the first 10 years.
Yeah, but he sounded like some kind of Swedish accent. It sounded weird. It was like a weird accent.
Maybe the hospital was in Sweden. Or
maybe.
I don't know.
He burnt it down and all the Swedes only stayed and took care of him. But I actually liked him a lot in this episode, and it would never happen, but I would watch an Oliver Saxon show.
Really?
I really would.
Hey, well, there might be one the way it leaves off.
Nah, I don't. Dexter will always win in this fucking show.
Not in the last episode.
I don't know. I think he'll get away with it.
And then Deb gets shot, and I have a feeling she's gonna die. I didn't watch the next episode preview because I don't want to know.
But I think Dexter's the type of show when a character dies on screen, they die. They don't really milk it. They did it for the Trinity arc because she already got shot. Remember by Trinity or Trinity's little daughter.
What's his love? The guy, the FBI agent that she had a crush on, didn't he live a little bit or something? Lundy? No,
he got shot.
And he died right away?
Yeah, he was dead.
Okay.
Remember they shot him and her?
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if he lived for a while in the hospital or something.
Yeah, they're just kind of milking it for the next episode. But I liked Oliver Saxon as a character. I thought he was pretty resigned to his fate. He was happy. He wasn't crying, begging for his life or anything, which I enjoyed. But when Dexter doing the stupid shit that he does, he'll always I don't need to kill you.
I don't need this.
Well,
I need my
that's
girlfriend.
what the whole show is about, though. Is Dexter's growing as a person? So
I guess so. It
makes
really,
sense.
it really hit me. This
I'm
episode.
actually, I didn't even consider the idea that it might end with him not wanting to kill anymore, but I think that's awesome.
So, what was your idea of Harry? Because it was a pretty fruity scene. But Harry, the way Harry says, he goes, "I'm proud of you, Dex. You don't need me anymore." And then Dexter looks at him and does like the fruitiest head turn, like if almost he was getting his testicles checked by by Harry. But what was your thoughts?
Oh, my thought was if all of a sudden beams of light go through him, and he starts imploding, and he's just and then he dissolves into the sky, in the cosmic dust type of thing.
Even better is that, if light beams he closes his eyes and he starts vibrating in red, and light shoots out of his eyeballs.
It's like altered states, if you've ever seen that.
And then he floats into the sky in a Christ pose, and then he explodes into rainbows, and you see
right, and there's a nuclear mushroom cloud in the sky,
and then it kills everybody, and only Dexter's alive.
It kills all the bad people.
There you go.
And then he's you hear a God voice, Dexter, there is no need for you in this universe anymore.
And then a big white staircase leads down for him and Hannah and Harrison to go
and they just walk up and dissolve into light.
And then you see the ghosts of fucking
every victim.
No, not even the victim. You see the Night Stalker and the BTK killer.
They're up there welcoming him.
And you find out that it's only serial killers go to heaven, and that's
Son of Sam is holding his dog, beckoning to Dexter.
And the dog is come here, Dexter, you can do it.
John Wayne Gacy in all his makeup has his hands around God, and they're just
And then John Wayne Gacy takes Harrison's hand, and he does the handcuff trick on him.
He pulls a quarter out of his ear and then licks the quarter.
You see John Wayne Gacy and Albert Fish having an argument of who's gonna be the daycare owner and shit. Anyway, but so far I think it was a good episode. They killed the bounty hunter guy, whoever he wasn't even a bounty hunter.
Yeah, that freaking Marshall. I hated him.
You didn't like him. I was hoping he'd live.
I hated him.
And
I'm so glad he died.
Deb's ex-boss is getting it back into the
Eli.
Oh no, yeah, Eli, right? Elway.
Okay, yeah, that guy is such a prick.
He's a swat, right? I like him. Who cares?
I like him as a character that I hate.
I think he's gonna get knocked. He gets punched or something because I think.
Yeah, I thought
not this trailer, but the trailer before you see Dexter punch him.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna happen. But I guess they're previewing for both trailers.
Yeah, because he sees Hannah in the airport. So I mean, that's.
Did he see her? He saw the back of her head. He doesn't know it's her.
Maybe she has a recognizable. Yeah, you say she needed a wig,
Why
right?
didn't she put on a wig, dye your hair black, shave your head, look like a leukemia person? Who cares? Just you're trying to get your hair will grow back.
You imagine she did that? She got into a wheelchair and she put both her legs on one stirrup. You know how they have that
right?
Lacy.
She really gets full body tattoo on her face and everything.
It says mega cunt and a swastika on her nose and shit like that, and each cheek, Hitler's face.
It's permanent, but then she just has to wear makeup now to look like herself. She has to put on normal skin
What was the
makeup.
guy from fucking
An Invisible Man?
No. Snyder's movie Strangeland.
Captain Howdy.
He has to put makeup to look normal.
Yeah, that's what she has to do.
She probably has the same wig and the same black guy.
You see her and Dexter having sex, and her sweat makes it run down. You see Mega Cunt, just the M from Mega Cunt on her face.
and the Nazi lightning bolts on each ear and shit. Anyway, what else happened? So
that's about it.
They gave him a little speech.
Oliver Saxon shoots. Deb gets away,
Exactly like I saw in the trailer. It's she's falling at a weird angle. So they wish him a goodbye. I think Masuka's daughter and his storyline are pretty much wrapped up because she had smoked weed and he was I just want to take care of you. And she's that's okay, and that's how they left. But this is kind of stupid. Angel says goodbye. I like Dexter's.
Angel's off to time travel to another place.
Yes, I like Dexter's curt responses I'll miss you all, like a robot.
Yeah.
So far, I guess they're leading it up. I know it's not the greatest of seasons, but it's going to end, so whatever. The only thing I had to complain about all this season is that whenever he talks to Hannah when he's in love, Dexter's voice is so horrible. He does this really fruity voice, I don't even know what to say. He's like that. No, what the fuck's wrong with your voice, man?
But I'm waiting. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It's a finale.
I don't know how they're going to wrap it up. I really don't know.
I've been there for 8 years. I'm pretty much sure he's going to get away with it. I'm sure he's going to go to Argentina and do stuff. I hope not. I would actually want Oliver Saxon to kill him, and it shows the cycle of shit going on. But this is a show where people root for Dexter.
I would be upset if Oliver Saxon killed him just because he's so new.
That's true.
I'd be happier if, like, the guy that killed Dexter's dad somehow got back or something.
Yeah, well,
is that guy dead? I think he's dead. Oh, wait, I forget.
Nobody killed Dexter's dad. His mother.
No, the guy that killed Dexter's dad.
His father.
With the chainsaw
His father killed his mother. His father ordered the hit on the mother, remember?
Oh, okay. It was the guy with the chainsaw.
The Spanish guy that killed LaGuardia, or supposedly set up to kill LaGuardia, is the guy that they killed.
Yeah.
So all that's covered up.
Or if Miguel, that's his name.
Miguel, right.
Miguel comes back as a zombie and kills Dexter. It's all supernatural out of nowhere.
And anyway, just to get the Walking Dead ratings. So yeah, that's that. They mentioned Aster and Cody for 3 seconds. Fuck them. They don't care anymore.
Yeah. I do hope that at the last episode...
That's got to feel bad for those kids, right? Like, the guy that they thought there was dad for 3 seconds, that, like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just like,
he's going Argentina.
I'm sorry for your loss with a Mickey Mouse ears. Anyway, so...
I want to see this would be a cool thing to me, if they had every single victim that Dexter's ever killed, like, just, like, quickly, like, flashing.
This next episode is called Remember the Monsters, so... What I'm thinking is remember the monsters, remember all Dexter and Hannah, or remember Dexter and Hannah that left.
Oh, okay.
But then the ads have him looking at all the paintings. Remember the ads where he was looking at murals of all the people he's killed? So remember the monsters. Who knows how it's going to go?
My original idea was if he was on trial and like it showed every single person he killed or something. But
I hope something happens. There needs to be some sort of comeuppance for him because it doesn't seem like there is.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I don't know what will make me happy.
Who does?
What is your rating?
I'll give this just for Oliver Saxon alone, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Dexter's fruity head tilt at seeing Harry vanish into nowhere, even though they didn't show him disappear.
Okay, I was gonna do the beams of light. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, I don't know. I'm gonna just do the same one. Harry dissolving into beams of light like Freddy Krueger being killed.
Even though that didn't happen.
And then doing like a Colossus scream from the X-Men arcade game.
And with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Mazuki!
Your host Alex and
Chimp vs. Raccoon.
And it's Bay Harbor Bitching, which means it's covering
Dexter, Season 8.
Which episode is this?
This is the fucking finale called Remember the Monsters, which I think is an awesome name.
Yes, and when you find out the context of the phrase, you're completely disappointed. So, Remember the Monsters episode is directed by Steve Schill. Wow. Were they right with that guy?
What's his name?
Steve Schill. They're shilling you garbage.
Come on, it wasn't that bad.
What? Written by James Manos Jr. I guess he's a developer. Based on a novel by Jeff Lindsay, and who gives a shit? Starring Michael C. Hall, Jennifer Carpenter, Desmond Harrington, whose cheekbones I think are, who's playing Quinn. I think his cheekbones are like trying to escape his face. So anyway, how do we start out this episode, Danny? Because
it left us off with.
I'm still reeling from it. Go ahead.
Deb being, come on. Deb was shot in the last episode, trying to capture Daniel, whatever, Vogel, yeah. And so it's like, what the fuck? And now she's in the hospital. Is that how it started?
Who cares?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Her getting to the no, actually starts out with Dexter.
It was so much that I kind of can't even remember almost.
No, it's terrible. It starts out with Dexter running towards the airport, and he has to find some way to get Allison out of the.
You just called her Allison.
No, Elway. Sorry, Elway. Out of off of this girl's trail.
Oh, that's how it starts up. Okay.
Still blonde. So what he does is he fakes a terrorist threat on Elway.
What was the significance of the stuff he put in the bag? Like,
I don't know. I mean, he just bought a bunch.
I thought he was
shit.
buying ingredients to make a bomb or something.
He just could have took the bag and threw it in there. That's all. He'd have to buy all that extra shit. Whatever. And then Elway is like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like making himself look really ridiculous in front of the police. I got into something like that once, like in front of.
But Elway's such a dick. What is his main motivation?
Money. He wants money. There's a.
Yeah, I know, but he's so like over the top about it.
Why not? I was actually glad he didn't get killed in this episode. Kind of like his dickish character. So he lost money. So what? But anyway, he goes. That happened to me once at an airport. I remember
You got detained?
No. I saw some guy acting extremely strange before a plane trip. He was just doing really strange shit. Like he was eating bologna. I don't even want to say what it was. He was
eating bologna. Oh my god, that's so weird.
No, but it was very bizarre the way it was. And then like the funny thing is, like as soon as we were walking in, like that was enough. Just him acting all strange, like an Argento hero. We were just walking into the plane, and as soon as we walk into the plane, like already my receptors are up. Like this guy's fucking.
Yeah, but you're a really paranoid person.
Well, that's true, but this guy was enough to actually make me, be like, okay, let me do this. But as soon as we walked in, he comes in, and he almost makes his way into where the pilots sit, and he starts looking around the cabin. He goes, "Oh, okay." Then he goes, I was like, "What the fuck?" So I was like, I told somebody.
And what happened?
They delayed our flight for about half an hour.
Oh, man.
I was scared. I hope he's not listening to the show, because he's like, okay, even though he wasn't.
Like, I will kill him.
Even though he wasn't that racist caricature I just said. But anyway, so yeah, I remember that. Anyway, who gives a shit? So Dexter, he in doing that he fucks up the flight, and with the storm, what was the storm's called? The storm, the hurricane.
Hurricane Sandy, I believe that it destroyed a large part of Long Island and New Jersey.
And did Dexter say he was stronger than the storm in this episode? I forget. And Governor Christie. Only people from New Jersey would know that guy. So anyway, they fucked themselves over. So him and Hannah and Harrison decide to leave. I don't get it. I mean, like, I was alright with this
I don't
episode.
understand. This is my main issue. Can't Hannah just put a fucking hat on her head or something?
A wig.
Just wear some sunglasses.
Like, a wig from Chicago, like kind of like those 1920s flapper.
Shave your head. Like, look like you have cancer. Who cares? Just get away.
There's a lot of stuff in this episode. I mean, it wasn't the worst. Because
That's like by far my biggest peeve with this season so far is that
there was a point.
Simply just dye her hair. She'd look hot as a brunette. All girls look hot as brunettes.
Yeah, there was a point in this episode where I was like, all right, they redeemed this. This episode, not the season, but this episode. And then it, of course, went right back to Shitsville. But there's a couple of things. So, in a nutshell, just what happens. Just list it off without going through the whole thing.
Okay, well. So the flight's detained, blah, blah, blah. So now they're back to kind of square one, getting Hannah out of here. She's going to leave through some, like, private bus or something because everything else is being watched. Of course, she can't wear a wig or something, whatever.
Of course not. Why would she?
Meanwhile, Deb got good news that the bullet was not that bad, bounced around, missed all her vitals, blah, blah, blah.
Somebody was saying that she got shot in the same exact spot when she got shot by the, what's his name's daughter?
Trinity's daughter.
Trinity's daughter, right.
Yeah. And, so that seems okay. And then, whatever, Dexter...
I like how they have the guy, if anybody saw The Killing, the TV show The Killing, which was really good, but now it got canceled, so had a really amazing third season. With kind of a stupid ending, but it was still good. One of the guys from the first and second season plays like a very bit role. He's very important in The Killing, but in this he plays like an animal vet, like a guy who sews up.
That guy was from The Killing?
Yeah, he fixes. He reminded me. Did you ever see Basketball?
Yeah.
He look like a little bitch or whatever his name was, the little guy that they kept fucking around.
It's been a really, really long time since I've seen that movie.
If you watch it, you'll be like, hey, that kind of looks like that guy. But anyway, he plays.
No, I felt so bad for that guy. He was such a nice guy. He was so cooperative.
I think they based some characters in South Park on him, but I can't think of who. Anyway, so
I just whatever. So then
I know I sound really somber in this episode because I feel very defeated. But anyway, Saxon does what?
He's being a complete douche and denying all knowledge of it.
That's pretty funny. I like how he cold cocked the guy in the middle of a fucking parking lot with a gun and nobody saw him literally hit a guy over the head with a gun and steal his car. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, and then he goes into a vet office and gets his bullet wound from Deb. At least Deb got him, and makes him stitch him up.
But he cuts the guy's tongue out. Like, don't you think that would take a little bit long to cut a guy's tongue out? Like,
oh, I think he could do it.
I know, but
how long could it take?
Remember Itchy the Killer? It took him at least like 5 seconds.
Yeah, but he was.
But I mean, let's say the guy says, "Stick your tongue out so I can cut it out." Wouldn't you? Yeah. What, with your left hand, open the car door open and get the fuck out of there? Or would you just let a guy just cut your tongue out so he won't?
Maybe he made him do it himself at gunpoint.
At first, when I saw him, I thought he just got stabbed in the gut, and that's why he was bleeding. You know, because it looks like because the blood fell on his shirt that way. But no, he actually sat in the car and let the guy cut his tongue out. Yeah, okay, that made complete sense. Of course.
Maybe he did. Don't you're getting too angry. You're too angry.
I can't be angry.
You're thinking too emotionally with this review.
Oh, okay. Please enlighten me how I should have accepted this. Go ahead with Deborah. What happens with her stupid ass?
Okay, so then basically something goes wrong. She has like a stroke, and now she's like a fucking vegetable. And I felt so terrible about this.
I did feel very like it was so funny. I
started crying.
It didn't impact me as much as I wanted it to. I think it was just because I was so sad. I remember I told you I saw spoilers for the show.
Yeah,
I knew a long time ago. Like,
well, you know, I finally watched the preview after watching the final episode. I went back and watched it, and it shows scenes like my friend was pointing it out. It shows scenes that aren't in it. Like it shows old clips, I suppose. Because at one point my friend was saying he had this theory based on a scene in the preview where it shows a knife fall to the ground, and then you see Dexter's feet tilt back, and he's thinking, "Oh, that means Dexter slid his own neck or something."
Oh.
But that's not in the scene. And then also, I think it showed the church from season 6 at one point or something.
Oh, okay. Did you see the one where they show like Dexter skateboarding and he wins a race? I didn't understand that because I didn't see that in any of the seasons. So it's very strange.
Yeah, and then there's a point where he's like on a floating, skateboard, and there's like a big truck filled with manure.
That was a little strange. So anyway, Deborah is basically...
This goes back to Angel being a time traveler.
I wish he fucking time traveled in this show, believe me. With what they gave him. They fucked his character, they fucked Masuka, at least Quinn.
Fuck them. What are you talking about?
What did he do? They did nothing. What happened to the bench? Nothing. They never found out. They never found out that Dexter was a fucking serial killer, which they should have done.
But I'm kind of happy they did in a way. I wasn't sure what I wanted, but I don't know.
some impact because it felt like another season with just another big character dying. They could have easily went on with another season.
The big character was Dexter. Dexter died technically, like his whole persona died.
What I don't understand is with and I felt bad for Deborah, but it didn't impact. I had the same issue. I saw Breaking Bad a few minutes before that too, so. I was like, wow, a really good episode, and I knew, coming in, I was like, this is going to stink, and I kind of set my expectations really low.
I wouldn't say it stunk. I would say it was a little anticlimactic.
The same thing that happened to Deborah happened to another character in the Sopranos finale, so I was kind of it kind of wrung that kind of feeling, although Deborah's was more emotional.
Can you hear my cat purring?
No. Deborah's was way more emotional. If you're really stuck with a character, I couldn't stand if somebody just.
I was so sad.
I felt bad for her because I was like, she never got to. She got some closure with Quinn by telling him she loved him. I don't know if she did that in any other episodes before.
Not really. She was always kind of cold.
And she dies, but it just felt like they just kind of crammed it in because they were dealing with Saxon's bullshit.
Dexter got to say goodbye to her. That was pretty much the last thing he said to her.
Right. You can tell when they say shit like that, something bad's going to happen. Especially when he's saying to Harrison. And then he was on the boat and he called Harrison and then he threw his phone out in the water. I was like, okay, maybe something good's going to happen. And he decides...
Well, he didn't kill himself, but he did kill himself. Because... everyone he knows is dead, and he has no connection to the world anymore. And Harry's not even there.
We find out Dexter's able to swim through fucking tornadoes or whatever else.
Well, that's part of the superhuman time-traveling powers.
This is the end of it. I don't have to watch this show anymore. That's what I feel so bad. They didn't have to deal with Zach. They didn't have to deal with Vogel, Saxon, none of those characters. They didn't have to deal with any of that shit. And they still put it in. They should have just dealt with Dexter being found out, and that's it. But I'm not a fucking TV writer. But it was like, here's the thing.
I don't know. If he was found out, that would make it like a negative ending. This is a positive ending.
This is what people were saying. Like, Dexter knows Hannah for what, less than a year, and he trusts a serial poisoner with his kid. And
but he's a good person.
Here's the thing. He's related by blood to Aster and Cody. Don't you think they're a better family fit than fucking Hannah? I mean, they're like actually blood relatives. Hannah. She kills her husbands for money. I mean,
he's a serial killer too. Who cares?
Yeah, but he's an idiot. Like they only put in the newspaper that Dexter died, right? That he died. His ship got destroyed and he's drowned or whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna wonder where Harrison went. Like, nobody's gonna be like, yeah, okay, we're fine with it. Harrison just.
Well, what are they gonna do about it? Honestly.
They're gonna maybe try to search for Harrison. Maybe they might think that Harrison was on a boat.
They're like
with
lost in the middle of Argentina. They're not finding him.
Right, but I mean, they don't know that he's in Argentina.
Right, so they're never finding him. So that's it.
Right, and it's just ridiculous. It's just
they might even eventually find out Dexter is a serial killer. Who knows?
And then but we're not as a
definitely going to see surveillance of him. Stealing Deb's body and all this, but they'll kind of take it as he was just a depressed guy who killed himself after burying his sister in the sea or something.
For TV, like, you can't just leave it. You have to specifically hint that people will find out who he is. Like Angel and Quinn, when they found out that he killed what's-his-face, Saxon, they were kind of like, they put it in the mode of that he killed this guy out of revenge. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, this guy's a serial killer. It wasn't like that. Like,
well, why do they have to know? I don't know. I'm happy with it, sort of.
And then he sits down. He becomes a lumberjack.
Now he's like starting a whole new life. He's like this depressed lumberjack who might or might not kill ever again.
So he's I kind of like the idea that he's torturing himself and he's kind of staring at us at the end. And they didn't even. I don't know why. It's a small thing to get pissed off about, but. They didn't even cut to black. It kind of just gradually faded to black really cheaply. And I was like, oh, God, that's even cheap the way it fucking ended, the final shot. Because I was like, yes, when he rode that fucking ship into the storm, I was like, cool, like, that's pretty awesome. And then I was like, then they had the final line of like, let's get some ice cream. I wish they would have fucking put poisoning that little brat.
You see her like, okay, and then it shows the ice cream and she just like empties a little vial into it or something.
Yeah, like, because imagine now she has to be saddled with a kid.
Right.
Who knows? You know what I mean? They should have hinted it more. Like, I thought their bus was going to overturn.
Yeah, but this is the thing now. We could wonder now what is going to happen, because even though Dexter shows him he's all depressed and he's, he's got some new name now and all this stuff, he could still track them down at any point he wants. He knows Hannah's name.
Movie.
What?
They'll make some shitty Dexter movie. His whole point is that he doesn't want to poison anybody else's life anymore.
Yeah, I know, but in like 2 years he might realize he's being a baby and go find them.
What I understand is the same shit happened with Deborah 4 seasons before, where she gets shot and he didn't come to the conclusion that everybody he's attached to gets destroyed.
Well, he's come to that conclusion like 10 times, but this time he actually finally ended it.
Yeah, I don't care
and
anymore.
He even says that he feels emotions now and he hates it, so he's going to go back to not. So now he's like...
Right. I guess basically what he's doing now is torturing himself, which doesn't make any sense. He could just fucking kill himself. There's no point. He's just living to exist.
Well, isn't that what everyone kind of does in a way? That's what he was doing before.
For that, he can just go to jail. What the fuck is he doing? Somebody said instead of killing people now, he's just killing trees.
Yeah, but maybe he will kill people. I mean, I think what would have been smart is if they had like a very distant, blurry Harry in the background of his cabin or something.
Or Vogel. The original showrunner,
just so you could see that like the possibility of him picking up his life again will happen.
The guy who originally ran the show, I forget his name, Clyde something, or whatever, he said that his original ending was Dexter waking up, and it was going to be like, oh, was this like all a dream? But he was waking up at the lethal injection.
Oh, okay.
And he was waking up there, or either it was electrocution chair, whatever the fuck it is.
No, it's an electrician chair.
That's what it is. They teach you.
They teach you.
They make you apprentice while you're sitting down. No, and then he'll look at the witnesses through the window, and it would be everybody that got killed on the show. Kind of like your idea that you thought.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome, but
they didn't work with it.
I mean,
they went with this one.
This wasn't as good as what I was hoping for, but I wouldn't say it was terrible either.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about. I feel very like sad about it.
What do you think of
Very
Dexter with a
defeated.
beard? Sexy?
I'm sure he could pull it off like a fucking mask. That's how terrible it looked. It looked pretty bad. It was you hear how I'm talking in this episode. It's just like
Yeah, you're angry. What do
I'm
you
not
give
angry, I'm
this
just disappointed.
episode as a
Sad.
rating?
This episode alone, I'll give it a 5, 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10.
What's your rating?
5.5 or 6 out of 10. Leaving your child with a woman you've only known for about 5 or 6 months to take care of him while you fake your own death and stare at the walls with a big mustache and beard.
Okay, I'm gonna give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10.
It's pretty good, Danny.
I wanted to use the beard one. 7.5 out of 10. Growing a big lumberjack beard and killing lumberjack bad guys for the rest of your life.
He's not gonna kill anybody though. That's the whole point.
He might. Eventually, he will. He will.
Nah, he's probably gonna blow lumberjacks now. So for the whole season, I'll give this like a 3 or a 4 out of 15 this season.
Oh, come on.
It was a strong season last season, and then it went to this. So this is at least got to be a 4 out of 10 for me, or 5 out of 10 this season.
Okay.
Of Desmond Harrington's jawline and cheekbones.
I'm going to give this season a 7.5 again out of 10. Old British ladies having their necks opened up like vaginas by their hipster sons.
Oh,
and
man. So you
the whole show, the show as a whole, every season.
As a whole.
Yeah.
It was good for the first 4 seasons. I'll give them that.
What are you gonna give the whole season, the whole show? You said you liked season 7,
including this season.
Including every season.
But you gotta understand that 5 and 6 were so horrendously bad to me.
Just make a rating.
Wow. I'll give it a 6 out. If you're committed from first season to final season.
Yeah. If you watched every episode in a row in like 2 days.
The first season is a fucking 10 out of 10. But altogether, I'll give it 6 out of 10. Saying goodbye to your ghostly, phony dad who represents your id, so I don't know why your id would disappear.
With a little flamboyant neck nod.
Yeah, neck nod. And you?
I'm going to give this whole show an 8 out of 10. Blowing up an angry black man in a cabin.
But it was so funny because this episode I just wanted to do it 1 minute and just say it sucked, and then make it the shortest episode of the Hardy.
I don't think it sucked. I don't know.
I think it's just sad.
I know a lot of people aren't gonna like it, but I kind of like it.
I don't have to watch it. I never have to watch Dexter ever again. I have to go watch Sleepy Hollow.
I won't have at least that ulcer feeling every time I have to watch it now.
Oh really? What would you have an ulcer feeling for?
Because it gets me so nervous.
Really?
Like I'm always what's gonna happen? God.
Wait till you see Breaking Bad. That's gonna give you.
And everybody. I just watched the first season of it, and
oh God,
already hooked.
One of the last, the second to last, no, the third to last episode made me physically sick watching it.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think do you have any final words on that? Like, my final words is...
My final word on Dexter?
No, not yet. But I'm saying your final thoughts on the whole season and the series itself and what you thought went right and what went wrong.
Oh, I mean, it's like all one big story about a guy that is completely numb, and then he, slowly, learns to be a human, and... I guess it bites him in the ass repeatedly.
Yeah, Dexter is a character who's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, because he decides not to kill the guy, and that ends up killing his sister. So,
right.
And then with Trinity, he takes his sweet time trying to kill Trinity, and that gets his wife killed. So it's a whole bunch of shit. It's just conveniently bad for him, even though he's pretty much an unfeeling character.
Yeah.
The character himself, I'm fine with Dexter, the character himself. I have no issues with his character, the way he is. I think it's just the plots that he's being put in progressively through season. It's pretty shitty. I don't know. I'm gonna read the new Dexter book just to wipe my memory off of this kind of.
Okay.
That it's become.
But did you say the new Dexter books get supernatural or something weird?
No, Dexter. The books have always been supernatural. The third book on was like the Dark Passenger really was like a demon, an old demon that. Like,
so it's like Freddy Krueger.
They don't really. It sounds
it's
really
like
bad.
three-dimensional horrible worms that float around. You have to look at them with the funny glasses.
In the third Dexter book, because the best Dexter books aren't even as good as the best Dexter season. I mean, they're not, but they're better than the worst season. Like, if you want an alternate idea of what the show is, and even the comic book is alright. I mean, it feels like an episode of the show, kind of.
Okay.
For Marvel, it's like 5 issues. I've read, I think, the first 2, maybe the 3. And,
cool.
It's... What was I going to say? The latest one is called Dexter's Final Cut, where they're making a film and a guy studying Dexter's forensic pathology stuff.
Right.
So maybe that'll be good. That just came out recently, and Jeff, whatever the fuck his name is, who writes the books, Jeff Lindsay, doesn't have to worry about the show shitting on his character because he took great offense at some of the changes of what they did with his character. But I'm like, no, listen, the books ain't fucking gold. Believe me, if you read the books,
he took great offense, but I'm sure he kept collecting his checks.
I guess Deborah has like a prominent mole on her face, and she's really bustier, and she has dark hair as opposed to how he is in the show. That's why I'd rather like in the comic book at least.
Deb, jeez.
I like Deb too, yeah. But I don't know. It's a show that regressed. Like it's one of those shows where you see the great importance of what the showrunner did. Like you can tell the difference between. Even though I like the 7th season, the first 4 seasons was Clyde Phillips is the guy's name. From the first one through Trinity Killer, that's the guy who did those first 4 seasons. Okay. And they changed the showrunner from 5 to 8, and you can see when they brought in Lumen and they brought in the fucking religious guy. And I was fine with Isaac Circle. That was a great fucking bad guy, and they got rid of him cheaply. And whatever this season was with Oscar, whatever his name is. What was his name? Oscar what?
Oscar Wilde.
No, that's what I was gonna say too. What was his name?
Hey, I'm blanking.
Holy moly, guacamole. Anyway, so yeah, it's a regressive show, and it turned kind of poorly. And then they had Vince Masuka and his daughter, and it went nowhere. And I
wish that they did something with them, but they're gonna have a spin-off. It's gonna be Angel's Time Machine, and Vince and his daughter will be the sidekicks, and they'll be like, the daughter will be like, "So Angel, tell me about 1873." And he'll be like, "Well, you see."
Well, you gotta do his voice because he kind of has the Hispano accent, and then.
Well, you're the one that would master that.
I can't even think about it.
It's in your blood. Come on.
They show his penis in that show Oz. So if you want to see his mini Batista,
I've seen.
Oliver Saxon.
He's a really bad guy in that show.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So anyway, your ideas on the whole season and the series?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I said what I got to say. I like the show overall.
Like myself, I'll say watch first 4 seasons and season 7, and if you have to, the last episode of season 8. That's it. So with that, Danny, what is the final? This is it. This is it for Dexter. Unless they make a shitty movie, this is it for us ever talking about Dexter. Like, done.
Spin-off about a time traveling.
I almost want to banish even mentioning it in other episodes. Like just completely edit it out. But this is the finale of us ever talking about Dexter. So what is your what's the word that can encapsulate your whole deal with this show and going, did you Netflix
Road rage.
Danny, what's the final word?
Road rage.
The horror deconstruction.